our mentality in terms of combat is so far ahead compared to Western philosophy. We probably just don't tap into it enough. Thinking about all these Shahid singing here and what they went through, it carries you through. You know, people say failure's not an option, quitting's not an option. It's the easiest option. There was a couple of things that I took to any club, and that was my mindset, and that was the Khalsa mindset. We have a strong attitude. When we can combine our taram, bring it into our lifestyle of training, there'll be no one in this dunya that can defeat the Khalsa. Motivation becomes irrelevant as an athlete and as a Gursikh. Your motivation for Nitnem is irrelevant because it's discipline. You have to do it regardless. And it's the same with training. Kids necessarily don't listen to what you say, they do what you do. So if you're like, I'm going jiu-jitsu, I'm going wrestling, I'm going boxing, the kids, they understand that. They understand that and they follow that. We can't just say to a young kid who's going through any sort of trouble in their life, go in his hang, chardi kala, and crack on. There has to be a process.
We teach our children self-defense, body language, all these things before they're in an altercation or a situation. Someone needs to teach that. Who's that someone? That someone is always you. If you do nothing, you are nothing. There's no such thing as a tough person. There's the trained and there's the untrained. You can train someone to be tough. You can create a warrior. Guru Gobind Singh did exactly that. He put talwara in the hands of peasants. People who would never dreamed of fighting, Guru Gobind Singh made them into the mightiest of warriors. What's the difference between a hero and a coward? There is no difference. It's what one does that the other doesn't do. It's the action that makes the hero. Everyone feels scared, and bravery is when you're scared to do it. You wish for the world to open up and swallow you inside, but still you stand up and you speak the truth, or you do what you need to do. That's bravery.
What we teach the children is be peaceful, don't be harmless. Because as Sikhs, if we're harmless, afsos di gall hai, our gurus never taught us turning of the cheek. Je Lord kade pay, asi karan joge hai, but hopefully Lord kade pay nahi.
Guys, real good announcement I've got for everyone today. The Khalsa Spirit Journal Practical Guide for Sikh Kids is out now, and it's an awesome book for the youngsters, giving them a few guidelines of how to live life. There's Sakya in there, there's inspiration in there, there's some trackers in there. All you need to help make your life better if you're a Sikh kid, boy or girl out there right now, go and get this right now. Go. Go on. Go.
Welcome back to another episode of the BOS podcast series. Very blessed today because we've got two fantastic guests on. One you already know a lot about because you see him quite a bit now, Guru Kirpa, and quite famous now, Pai Man Singh.
I don't know about that.
The last podcast with Pai Satnam
Quite
Singh.
infamous.
I think he's coming from my spot of when it comes to hosting because...
No, you can't replace you, man.
Thank you.
You're the OG.
Thank you so much. But Guru Kirpa, having Pai Man Singh back on, we filmed a podcast with you nearly 2 years ago, before you actually joined us full time. So if people, if Sangha don't know this, Pai Man Singh's been working with us for nearly 2 years full time now, Guru Kirpa, joining the E13 team. And then also we've got Pai Sawzal, short for Indy, long full name.
Indy Singh.
Hanji. And great to have Pai Sabji on as well. A great background in martial arts, gets involved in seva with Pai Man Singh. Does a lot of seva locally in Coventry as well.
Ji, Hanji, yep, Coventry, born and raised.
Born and raised?
Ji.
And you were born and raised in Midlands?
Yeah, right, yeah.
From lovely London as well. Kirpa, so where should we start then in terms of what you guys been up to? Maybe just with Pai Sab first then. How's things been for the past, you could say, nearly 2 years, 18 months, being able to do, seva prachar full time?
Crazy. Crazy. And I think one of the things is it's just crazy, basically. Where do I start? The 2 years have gone like, well, that we're coming up to 2 years in the summer, I've gone past like that. You just haven't even noticed, haven't had time to blink. You're just so busy. Like sitting back when you'd see some sevadars or some of the boss guys, you'd think, you know what are they doing? Like they've got so much time. But when you're in it, you see that just time is of the essence. Every single day there's a booking. Every single day there's a different seva going on. There's the behind the scenes seva. There's writing. Yeah. There's supporting people who are going through issues and problems. There's going out to different camps. There's all the travel abroad. There's just so much going on. And the last 2 years have been a godsend as well. Maharaj Kirpa got to do some podcasts with yourselves, got to travel around a bit, meet a lot of Sangat. And I think the meeting of the Sangat on a daily basis, doing different talks and that has really helped. It's just been an amazing 18 months or so, man.
And one thing that's happened as well is that you've had to learn to say no. In terms of
which is the hardest thing,
Yeah.
and I think that's an important thing as well, that we learn to say no. And just as a dunya, we learn to say no to certain things. Because especially when it comes to seva, someone asks you everything, you're just used to saying yes, 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 spreading yourself in, being absolutely exhausted, having no time at home for family and stuff. So now and then you got to say no, or now and then you got to look to other resources to pull other people in as well, and just do what you can to just keep yourself fresh and energized. Because sometimes if you're doing so much, you could just get drained.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you never want to feel drained. It's very hard to feel drained in Sikhi because there's so much energy, but sometimes you can feel drained.
I think that's the thing, because it's such a, it's our passion as well. We push ourselves that far that you've gone way beyond your limits physically and mentally. Then when it hits you, it's like you just get a complete burnout at that time as well. What did you think when you heard, what was your reaction when you heard about Bhai Sabji going full time and doing the seva?
We were saying to him beforehand, because he was considering it, and we were saying to him beforehand, even probably a year or so before that, we were saying you should do this full time. When he first started doing the Sikh history series, and how popular that grew, because it was it was new, it was fresh, it was he put a lot of energy into it. The delivery of it for the target audience was pretty much bang on. So there's a need for it. There's always a need for prachar. There's a need to connect with the youth, because the youth is always changing as well. Our generation to the next, to this generation now, who are aged from 12 to 18, they're very different to previous generations, and so there's always a need to connect. And I think prachariks that can connect, however much they can put out there, is always a benefit. Even to this day, the amount of people we meet and we say, what was your journey into Sikhi? And they'll say, by Gurdwara Singh's videos. Even to this day, even people of all ages, all backgrounds, because what that gave you a connection from your bedroom. So that kid, that Singh or that core sitting in their bedroom, trying to identify who and what they are, it gave them an identity in a very fast world, because now identity is such a big thing. Everyone needs to know who and what they are, and it gave someone that identity, learning about their identity from their own bedroom, the comfort of their bedroom. So if we just use that as a marker, Gurdwara Singh's by Gurdwara Singh's videos, we can see how much importance it has on the youth. And even now, when we go anywhere, taking it back to Bhai Sahib, he'll have young kids come up to him wherever. Bhai Sahib, I've seen all your videos. Bhai Sahib, I've seen every single video. Or the biggest one he gets now, when you're releasing more, which he kind of laughs off. So I think having people that can connect to new generations coming through is always a great thing. And
that you mentioned by Gurdwara Singh is a massive inspiration. Like, he's the founder of Basics of Sikhi, and he's the first one of ours to step forward on a social media platform on YouTube to make those videos and take it out to the masses. Instead of traveling the whole world, he did it from a comfort of a room, or he did travel the whole world, but then from a comfort of one room, one place, he got out to millions and thousands over time as well. Still now, 10, 15 years later, people are still watching his videos, and he's a massive inspiration. And one thing that he said to me once in Guru Har Rai Sahib, West Bromwich, Gurdwara Sahib, he goes to me, there's a matter of time, you're going to be with us as well. You're going to be doing seva with Basics as well. You're going to be on it. You're going to be making videos. And I was like, nah, man, forget that. I don't want to. And now his words come true. And one of the things that holds people back, and I think this is an important thing to look at, what holds people back from going out and doing seva, doing these missions? And there's two things. One, we'll come back to those in a minute. But what were my inspirations? Were obviously sevadars like by Gurdwara Singh, like other sevadars like you guys. And one of the most motivating factors was our mortality. That I'm going to die. Not going to be here forever. I'm going to die. And while we have breath in our lungs, while we're able to walk, talk, while we've got health, what can we do to help others? What can we do to inspire others on the path of Sikhi? And we're only here for a limited time. So why not do something? Who are we to do something, and who are we not to do something? It's all in Parmeshwar Vaheguru's hands. And the other thing, the one that I was addressing, what scares people from doing this? What's one of the biggest fears that everyone has out there? And one of the biggest fears people has is the fear of public humiliation. It's massive. It's public humiliation causes people to kill others. Oh, meri besti karti yaar. Now I'm going to go out there. Oh, someone said something about me on social media. They said this in comments. They go home, they get depressed and all these type of things. Or the effect of what the public do or how people think of you has such a big notion on us and how we live our lives that it scares people from doing things, or it forces people to commit atrocities and other things that they don't want to. And sitting and reflecting, and I think just the words of Guru Nanak, Sir dije kaana na kije. On this path of Sikhi, give your head, kaana, don't give your ears to public opinion, what anyone says, oh, you're good enough or you're not good enough. So around when I was contemplating, you know what, obviously I always wanted to sit back in the shadows, never to be out on social media. I don't want to be that. I still don't now. Honestly, what I want now, my dream is sit back at home, never had to leave my home, talked about 5 people, that's it, my close crew, family, 5 people, all I need, have my snacks, have my family, like do my own name and stuff at home, and that's it, just chill. That's like a dream. Like it would be awesome dream if it's out there in the woods and you've got a little stream and everything. but that is the dream. But we're forced to be out here, and we're out here because of the love of the Sangat. And before we started, I just did that Ardas with Maharaj, we're doing it for you. I'm by far nowhere near what a Gurmukh or a Gursikh should be. I fail every day. I'm haunted by demons, Kam, Krodh, Lomo, Hankar, Alasi, laziness, Nindya. All these things haunt us every day. But then I thought, Maharaj, I'm trying to, all I want to do, I love you, Maharaj, Sache Pacha, Tuad Naal Pyar Ya. I just want to talk about you all day. And the thing is, what do we do? If we ever meet, anytime, what do? We talk about Sikhi. Whether we talk about Gurbani, we talk about our favourite Shabads, our favourite Shaheeds. Look, we've gone on plane rides together. The whole plane ride, what did we talk about?
He's the worst person to travel with, right? So I'll be there trying to watch a film.
He was expecting that.
Every 5 minutes I have to press pause, and he wants to talk to me about a Saki or a Shabbat, and then I'll be like, okay. And then I'll press play, and then he'll be like, and then he talks to me about another Saki, another Shabbat. So he lives it and breathes it exactly what
the
he's
thing
saying.
is, we all do. If we all love it. Otherwise, why are we here? Because the thing is, you can make more money. You can, if it was about fame, you could get more famous doing other things, doing stupid things. If it's about money, it's very easy to make money out there. You put your mind to it, we can make bare money. But it's not about the money. It's not about anything like that. It's about the pyar. This is what we love, man. And I feel so indebted to Sikhi for everything I got in my life that I think, you know what, if I've got time, give something back.
Well, we're going to get to Paisab as well, but before we get to your history of like martial arts and so on, how did you meet Bhai Man Singh as well? That must be an interesting story.
You know, I think just, a long time ago, I say when I was coming into Sikhi, maybe like 20 years ago or so, there was like groups of Singhs from all the different cities. So you had the Birmingham Singhs, you had Coventry Singhs, you had the Warsaw Singhs, you had the Wolves Singhs, London, and then we just
for London.
there was cliques from everywhere, and there was so much pyar, and we used to go, programs, events, and all these other kind of things. So we just everyone used to get together every so often when there was something to get together for, and I think pyar bad gaya si. And then just a few of the different, we've been involved different seva with different people from back in the day. So I think it was kind of there where we started from.
I can't even remember when I first met you, but it's one of those things, when Singhs meet other Singhs, you go and shake every Singh's hand there, you give him a dap, you say, Gidda theek hai. And it's one of those, the meeting was probably like that, but then api pyar vad gaya, the more time you spend together, the common struggles that you have together, with Timorcha lag gaya, or in this seva together, or that seva, that builds camaraderie, that builds pyar, and then one day you're just talking to each other, and you start doing a seva together, and it's crazy. I don't know how I met half these things. And one of the things I said to him today when we were in Malaysia, one of the things I said to him and Jati Singh is, if it wasn't for Sikhi, we probably would not be friends.
Mm-hmm.
If it was Sikhi, we would not know each other. I wouldn't know half the Sangat or half the friends I have if it wasn't for Sikhi, because I have nothing in common with them. They like football and I don't know, all this other stuff. Yeah, and I like normal stuff, like cool stuff. Yeah,
They always say that's normal. But I think one thing that you guys definitely have in common is a love for martial arts as well. And a lot of your seva that I've seen personally that's out there is the Kesan ball, which is linked to martial arts and, you know, preventing bullying and the identity of a Sikh. Before we get to that, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Paisa, because you're quite big in the martial arts world, right?
No, you know what it is, VG. I think just as Paisa said, I'm really not, and I think like, you know, there's a lot better people out there, but it's like what Bhai Singh said a little while ago was, you know, young kids, they need people to look up to. So just put yourself out there. And, you know, with time, other people will come through, because I didn't want to be, you know, out there as much. And there's so many better people in martial arts than me. But I had that passion to go from Gurukar to Gurukar and really infuse that confidence into the youth, and, you know, via a martial arts background. So I probably started training around about, I started late, I would say about 16.
Okay.
I'll say about 16. And I went to a striking self-defense class. So it was...
What was the reason for starting? Was there...
I think I got into Sangat around about 15, 16.
Okay.
I got into Sangat, and then a lot of the Singhs, older Singhs, they were doing this sort of stuff. And there was... older Singhs than me who I looked up to, and they were doing these sort of things. So that's how I started. Then you know, there's one guy there who boxed at a good standard. He took me under his wing to start boxing, and then it just evolved, and then eventually when I think I got to about 20 years old, I took on MMA full time. So I was a pro for about 3 years.
Okay, wow.
So, you know, it had its pros and cons. So training twice a day, 6 days a week was, you know, it really brought on a lot of skills. Probably had like, you know, about 10 fights, jiu-jitsu comps, other stuff in between as well. At that age, when I was that age, we got to travel internationally. So that was one of the big things. I think, you know, going away out your usual gyms and stuff like that, going abroad, training there, I think really progressed and helped me grow a lot. Because it's like your Sikhi. Sometimes it can be a lonely path, you know, when you're on this path. So going out there and you know, training hard in the morning, training hard in the evenings, away from your family, away from comfort, all these sort of things helped me grow at a young age. And then after that, I think just staying involved, started teaching at that age and started doing all these other sort of things. And Maharaj Kirpa, I've been involved in a lot of different seva around the martial arts now for the last, like, I would say maybe like 20 years or so. So it's been enjoyable, it's been educational and always humbling, because you always meet people that literally live and die by the sword and their training way of life.
And what was your daily routine like? You mentioned you train twice a day. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, so, you know, in the morning it would be maybe like cardio, technical stuff, or sometimes in the afternoon we trained as well. Evening sparring and classes in between Coventry and Birmingham. Stevie B's over in Acox Green. So it was tough, because even like, you know, you spar heavy on Wednesday and then you got training again Thursday. You pull up in your car and you're outside and you're like, you're ducky, and then because it's not.
Do you ever do that after training? I do it after training, especially. You sit in the car and you just think about, what happened, man? You're not even thinking it. Sometimes I drive home, and I don't even put no music, no guitar, nothing, and I don't even realize. I'm just thinking about how I got whooped.
Yeah, and then it's other things to add to that. It's like, imagine you train so hard and then you're cutting weight. So then you're going home and you're having like, you know, all these low calorie stuff. You can't even eat properly.
What did you eat to cut weight?
You know, it's just a lot of just the usual weight cut stuff, like
Parathe.
no, now it's heavy on the
Was you
protein.
have you always
Yeah,
been to Sikhi?
always been.
So you're vegetarian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maharaj Kirpa, always had my case. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been vegetarian pretty much all my life. And yeah, this is
So what did you eat then?
Just
Dahi.
a lot of dahi stuff, a lot of chole stuff, a lot of rice stuff, a lot of veg stuff, quinoa, all these quinoa.
Quinoa is called.
Yeah, all these kind of things.
What's quinoa?
It's a cousin of quinoa. It's similar, but just a bit more tasty.
The inbred cousin. Is it a real thing?
Yeah. And no, it's not. So it's all these sort of things, but that at the end of like lagatar training, right, and. You used to do weird stuff with biscuits, bite it, taste it, spit it out, because you weren't allowed the calories.
Wow.
Yeah, just to get that taste.
Serious?
Yeah. You used to do loads of stuff like that.
Did you have like a pile of like spit out biscuit?
Yeah. A special little cup. Yeah. And that's why then when you come off weight camp,
Yo, 1 minute, do a disclaimer. Sangha, don't do that. If you do that, where Indy's not responsible.
Or basis of Sikhi.
Yeah. So doing all that. So it's not just, but this is where, the Sikhi really played a big lifestyle, because, if we look at the Western world, go hard or go home, they say stuff like this, and we have purja, katta mere. Our mentality in terms of combat is so far ahead compared to kind of Western philosophy, but we probably just don't tap into it enough. And thinking about all these Shahid singing here and what they went through, and when you're on that tough grind and thinking about their lifestyles, it carries you through. It carries you through, definitely.
Did you think about the Shahid when you were in actual training?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you're hurt in training, because you always, you catch a good shot, and the easiest thing to do, people say failure's not an option, quitting's not an option. It's the easiest option.
Yeah,
say
it's
1 second.
The most readily available option.
You say, 1 second, let me catch my breath, let me take a knee. And there was a couple of things that I took to any club, and that was my mindset, and that wasn't mine, Indy Singh's mindset. That was the Khalsa mindset. We take that to any club, anywhere we go. We have a good attitude. We have a strong attitude, and even if we're technically not as good as people in the boxing clubs, went to amateur boxing clubs, in other jiu-jitsu clubs, in other Thai boxing clubs, other MMA clubs, we take that strong attitude.
How were you perceived at those clubs, especially clubs that are not in the Guru Ghar or not Punjabi dominated or Brown dominated?
Yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, probably when I was on the scene, it was very different, because there weren't many, probably as many now at Indy Singh's training. So, used to go in wearing a scrum hat and stuff like that. And obviously people used to look and think, what's going on here? Why has this guy got a rugby scrum hat on in jiu-jitsu class?
Yeah.
And things like that. And sometimes then in sparring, especially MMA sparring or Muay Thai sparring, when my case used to come out here and there, like the person who I was sparring against used to stop and look and think, whoa, what's that?
What did you do at that moment?
So one thing that I always done and still do, you always see out the round, because if you link martial arts to kind of self-defense to street fighting, is you kind of say to an attacker, 1 second, let me just put my gear back on, let me just grab my gunga. You have to wait until the situation is dealt with, until it's safe to do so. So and it's the same there. I'd always start with my gears covered, everything on, and then if it came off during sparring, I would never stop and ask for any time. I'd always see out the round, and when it's appropriate to do so, when everyone else takes a rest, then I would go grab my kunga, grab anything, sort myself out, and then get ready for the next round. So these are the sort of, so it was kind of, but then when you have the sort of the right mindset, you can earn people's respect. So even if you come in and people are looking like why they're wearing this, why they look like that for, and you don't look like everybody else, but if you spar a certain way, if you train a certain way, you can earn anyone's respect anyway.
And I think there is a lot of love in martial arts clubs and the martial arts world.
Without a doubt.
Where after a certain time, they're like your brothers as well. They treat you with respect. They don't look at your colour or your dharam. They just look like he's one of our training partners as well. And we were talking about it earlier, and you mentioned it. You mentioned your case. You mentioned a scrum hat. So there's a question that a lot of people ask, and they've asked you. No one's really asked me, but they say, like, what do you do with your kakar? What did you do with your kara? What do you do with your keski? What do you do with your case? What do you do with your kirpan and all that?
It's a question that we're asked a lot. And look, you can do whatever you think is best. Ultimately, you can do whatever you think is best. I could do what I think best works for me based on what I've tried over the years. So, you know, again, it was the rugby scrum hat for a long time. And it's good because it covers all of your gears. It's got a nice chin strap there, which can cover your dari. So your either your keski or your patka.
So you wear that on top of your small keski?
Yeah, so wear small keski or patka and wear this on top, have it tight at the back. And then, you know, but...
Put it on.
You put it on.
No, put it on. Let's see how it looks.
Okay, so...
And does this fall off then when you mention it? How regularly does it come off?
To be honest with you, it's good. It's good as an entry level. So it would go on here. So what the star's quite
Can you smile for the camera?
So yeah, we're there like this, okay, and then this strap comes underneath. And obviously, if you try a smaller one, then you can pull it all the way over.
We'll put a picture on the screen.
Yeah.
Nice like that.
Oh, thank you.
And what's the other one you have, like a patka?
So now, what happened basically was working with the Lions MMA team, and they do a lot of work. They've got in Patti, they've got a gym there, and so there's a wrestler there called Jassa Patti, and he's a really famous wrestler. So this is effectively the Jassa Patti kind of podcast. So this is pretty much the same, but it's a lot more durable. So in jiu-jitsu,
interesting.
Yeah, in jiu-jitsu, the scrum hat was okay. Okay, but in wrestling, when people are clawing at your head, going for collar tie, clawing at your head, it didn't probably last as long. Whereas,
talking of Jassa Patti, I've got a breakdown of one of his throws. I'll send it. Yeah, you could put it in the middle, innit?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. So this is pretty much the same. Okay, and this comes in many different sizes. Okay, and this would tie up here, and it would go lower to about here, and then it ties here at the bottom.
So how would you tie it?
So here it ties here at the bottom, and then you can tuck it in, and then this goes a lot lower.
Pairak, leave it on for the rest of the... No, it looks good in it.
But, yeah, and then I've got one more. So I've trained with Indy Singh, who was a pro MMA as well, from Leamington, and he likes this one, which is Sardar swimming cap from India.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Cap to me.
It is.
It's got the stretching. It's got the stretching.
It's shower cap-esque.
Is he being serious?
Whoa!
That's not.
Oh my god!
So this is.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's being serious or not.
Well, you always do this one too.
I'm okay. I don't want to.
Gotta be easy, man.
Have you got smell-o-vision?
So this is similar.
I feel like I should have it now.
This is straight from him. I haven't worn this one yet.
Yeah.
And
put it on as well.
This is a swimming cap material on the inside.
Yeah.
And it's just a thicker material.
Okay.
Yeah. I find, so what I do, I combo these two. This is a bit thinner and this is a bit thicker. And obviously this does look shower cap-esque, but I can tell you this is pretty much solid for the job.
So if we want to get one of those, how do we get it?
You have to go. I haven't seen it on the internet. Okay, it's literally from Punjab, Sardar swimming cap.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how he got it. He got me one. So
if there's anyone out there looking to make a bit of money, Sardar swimming cap, start sewing them, get your bibi to sew them, and
That's it. That's what I
make
was
some.
thinking.
Yeah.
Buy
Put it
yourself
on
and-
Don't
Amazon.
make too much, and it's sangat no. Then I
Put it on Amazon. Yeah. And so I use a combo of these things, and then finally, there was another singer, Dapinder Singh from Derby, and he used to tie, the mullah to training, to boxing when he used to come to Coventry and box, and he just used to tie a massive tarty, really tight one, bang at the top, and his used to last, but the only thing with that is so tight on the jaw, on the face, that I used to
can't talk.
I couldn't breathe. If I get talk, I couldn't breathe. But he doesn't talk anyway, so it's all right for him. So he used to bring that, and his used to stay on. So there's that. But again, someone's there training and they think of different ways to do it. Then share it by all means. And then finally, obviously for the kara, there's the sweatband option.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 or 2, or there's different options like that. And same with your kurban, some people I've seen put it in their scrum hat.
Yeah.
Okay, some people I've seen with a kamar kasa on, and then they took it into the kamar kasa and all these different things. What I use is Pete told me about this, was a running belt.
Yeah.
So it's just a Velcro running belt. Okay, and it's got pockets in there, and I'll put my kurban in one, and I'll put my Quran in the other, and it stays with me all the way through.
So it's got pockets that open up.
Has he got a zip on it as well? Right?
My older
zips.
one had a zip. This one is without a zip, but this one's absolutely fine.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It's without a zip.
And risky without the zip?
No, it's never come out. It's
and then
never
you put
come
this
out.
on underneath your shorts. Underneath your
All around your head.
your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Around your head.
Yeah, you can go like this. No, you can't. It goes around your waist like that, and then I put. I normally have an Under Armour top, and then plus my shorts, and then it goes under that. And then even I'll sometimes ask training partners, "Could you feel my Gurban? Could you feel my Quran?" Generally, no.
Shorty Gurban, or are we talking 9-inch? What are we looking at?
Generally, shorty Gurban around about. Kind of the 4 to 6.
Obviously
inch
in the
mark.
mian.
Yeah, in the mian. Yeah, I have a
those Khalsa Qurbans that are rounded
Khalsa
off.
Qurban, where it's a bit more flat mian.
Okay, that's
yeah.
good.
So it goes in quite smooth. But these are some of the options. But I use that pretty much every training session, and they last quite fine. Because you can train other ways. You can get a small bit of copra and tie it around and stuff like that, improvise, and depending where you are and things like that. Because again, going back to training partners, if you can look after each other, the last thing somebody probably wants is a sub look at a big one, like this one here. Yeah, in their face. Yeah, whilst they're training. Yeah. So if you can, it's great. And but there's some of the things. It's often asked question.
Definitely.
And sometimes the simple questions are the ones that need answering, because people just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, so it's good to share that.
And it holds them back. Because, like, for example, myself, I started jiu-jitsu 2 years ago, and that was one of my biggest kind of setbacks. Was like, what am I going to do with my guard? And when I heard about the belt option, so I can vouch that I've been doing it for 2 years, and no one's ever felt it. In that, it's like you put it just around your waist.
That's right. Yeah.
How are you finding your jiu-jitsu?
It's great, man. Loving it.
What's your favorite submission?
Just head and arm. I say head and arm choke.
What's your favorite submission?
I just put this vodka in their face. I just grind it in their face, and normally I get the tap.
What about you, Faisal? What's your favorite submission?
I don't really train, but I'm happy to organise your guys' training match. He's coming soon in 3 months' time by Indy Singh.
He's a gator roll. Like, we went to Malaysia just now, and we were doing one of the seminars. Outside wrestling seminar, and he goes, "Oh, you can also do this." He got some Pachara little kid did a mad gator roll, and they choked him out.
That's a lie. We got video footage. That did not happen.
Yeah, no.
I saw the video.
Yeah. No, he's very humble, but he's been doing jiu-jitsu at a Gracie Barra club for a long time.
Tell us your choice of favorite submission then.
My favorite submission.
Or do you get the most?
His favorite submission is Das.
I don't usually get a chance to submit anyone. I usually the other side tapping out, but whatever I can get. But I do prefer chokes.
Yeah,
I know.
that's good, pa.
Because you don't want to break someone's arm or leg.
Yeah,
man,
and I think a nice thing that you touched upon earlier was the idea of that. First thing, again, with Sangha that are watching, we have to also appreciate that in today's world, all the clubs that we go to, unless we're fortunate to go to like Lions MMA, they are mixed clubs, so we have to also take that into account. So maybe don't walk in with like free shusted on you and stuff, gari and stuff. Just be sensible with that. Another thing is also trust. Because that's what I found, that when I first started jiu-jitsu, I used to get quite scared of going. I used to brick it, like, I don't want to go, or maybe make up an excuse. But now I've got to the stage where I really enjoy it, which is good as kirpa. But one thing I really enjoy is that I feel safe there. I know I'm going to get my ass whooped. I don't mind, but as long as I know I'm not going to get injured, because there's that thing where you're getting battered, which is not nice, but I still feel safe when I'm getting battered. The worst thing is when someone pulls off an armbar and they yank it and they try and, because they just want to get the tap, right? So I think definitely find a good club where, respectful people and they'll look after you. And as long as you know you're safe, then good kid, but hopefully you won't get injured because you never know. But I think that's another great thing that comes with martial arts, right? The idea of that respect. Again, it doesn't have to be your own people. Like my club, there's Gore, there's Gale, there's Muslim on as well. And it's like that high moral code that they have there, and they look after each other and they want the best for each other. So I think
it's about that humility as well.
Yeah.
And the thing is, historically as well, there were like different people of different dharms who trained with the Khalsa as well.
Yeah.
From the times of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's time to the times of Guru Hargobind Sahib with Binde Khan stuff. We had different people coming in because Guru Sahib wanted the best of the best training with the Gursikhs.
Definitely.
As well. And the thing is, if we look at wrestling, we take wrestling all the way back to Malla Kara Sahib in Kadur Sahib, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they started wrestling. And one important thing is what one Guru started, the other Gurus didn't stop.
Yeah.
Like Guru Nanak Dev Ji started Langar, but every other Guru continued Langar. In the same way, when Malla Kara Sahib started, when wrestling started within the Sikh Qawm, it never stopped. And I think it's a responsibility on us as well that we all try and get involved in grappling, and especially with the youngsters, especially youngsters, they love it. They love wrestling. You just need to put them into it.
Yeah.
And there's people out there doing amazing jobs as well. Like,
yeah, now we're very fortunate where the clubs are in the community, they're growing and they're growing.
Yeah.
So, we've got clubs from all the way up north, all the way down south, a lot of the Midlands club, the Lions MMA clubs, the, specific wrestling clubs, the mixed martial arts clubs.
like you've got Beast at your side.
Yeah, I think how long has Beast? How long has Beast been going now?
About 15 to nearly 20 years, I think. Over 15 years.
And they got a solid bunch of lads. And what they're doing as well, that Sikh Warrior Project.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah,
you
really
watch those?
Good. Yeah, it's really good.
Before I even watch it, I press like because I know I'm going to like
and
it.
And they've just started a Bibia's class now with Beast with the club. So at the same place. Now every Saturday mornings, Bibia just come to train as well. The first session was about 35 Bibia, which is amazing.
That's so important. Like, obviously, all the lads should train without a doubt, but it's just as important for the Bibia to train. And often 100%. They put on the back bench, but they should be at the forefront pushing that as well. Like, we've got some beast to Bibia out there who can train and smash it as well.
And there's some people that have gone quite far within the martial arts world in terms of, I'm not great with the names, but a few Bibia have smashed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at them two young girls, the Sarwan sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're kickboxers. And
they're from Slough area?
They are from Birmingham.
Okay.
They're from Birmingham area. And, their trophy collection for kickboxing is just immense. World titles, European titles, everything. And they train at gyms, but a lot of it's from their dad at home.
Right, good.
He puts videos up in the conservatory, him with pads and the kids just doing that. And so if you can create that sort of atmosphere, and even now with the wrestling, there's a lot of girls that are really coming through. And going back to the mothers and going back to just parents, even if I take it further back, is kids necessarily don't listen to what you say, they do what you do.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm going jiu-jitsu, I'm going wrestling, I'm going boxing, the kids, they understand that. They understand that and they follow that. If you're like, I'm going badminton, nothing wrong with badminton, or I'm going to volleyball and these sort of things, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're like, if the kids know, oh, dad's got boxing today, mom's got jiu-jitsu today, then as they want to follow them sort of things.
Yeah.
Like if we look at the traveller community, with the son, the dad, the granddad, they all box. You know, they all box. And we just went to a show recently, Indy Singh fought at the O2. You know, he's such a good role model for the kids, because you can go to the O2 to watch boxing and it's great, even your call, but when you've got one your own there, it's such a different feeling.
And the thing with Indy Singh, he's not just training and boxing himself, he's teaching the kids class. Every week he's there in the class inspiring the kids. So
Amazing.
That's a big one as well.
Yeah.
And when we look at just locally, say Smethwick Gurdwara Sahib, there was a boxing class that we used to go to when we were younger, and the kids that were under us training, they're now leading the class. There's a group of kids like Jaranbal Singh, Gopal, a few of them that are coming out, and they're training like Amar Singh, what's he to you?
He's my cousin, yeah.
Yeah, you obviously inspired him, and now he's out there teaching a class twice a week, every week, and they're finishing with Naam Sim. I know Gully Pawar goes there as well, who's out there boxing professionally as well. They all go there and they're spending the time in the Guru Card training with our kids, inspiring them, and the classes are half boys, half girls, and they're putting out that time in. And when you speak to these guys, they love it. They live for this seva. There's seva out there for everyone, and these guys have found their seva and they absolutely love it, just like you do. You're in there with the kids, time stops and they're just smashing out there. And I watch their I watch their social media, and sometimes before their boxing matches, one of the beautiful things they put a picture of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and they go home, the source of all power, and stuff like this is just wicked. That these are our guys, and it's our, you know what, support them, man.
Because again, it is what you're putting back in. So, you know, Gully, Inda, and all these guys, they are back in the Sangat, back in the community. So that's why when they do go out and compete, we feel like we're competing because it's one of our own that have come from here and are going out there and competing.
And the thing, we all do ardas. You know, when we see we all do that ardas. Maharaj ne te kirpa rakho in it.
Because as a minimum, that if we can't go and support them, buy tickets and go there, that's the minimum we can do by supporting all our guys is do a dance form. But I do highly encourage everyone who's got kids and you want your kids to get in sport, you have to go watch these guys at the pinnacle, at wherever they're fighting on the main stage, so the kids can envision that I want to be that one day, I want to be there one day. You know, when we went to that fight at the O2, there was so much of the traveling community there, the young kids watching. There was one lad there from the traveling community, I can't remember what his name is, but they were all there watching him. Yeah, they take all the kids, say, look, this is going to be you one day, and we need to do that same thing.
And the things that like we laugh about it, but the only reason I train really now is so my kids train. I can't say to them, do this if I'm not doing it. And because I want them to train, I have to train. And then my little one, Indy Singh, he got his grey and white belt yesterday. So he's very pumped, he's very happy.
Nice.
And then afterwards I came home and I give him that bump, you're holding it down, like, then tell him more Sakya. And you know, whenever we've done a class, or when a lot of these people do classes, one of the most beautiful things is at the end of the class, sit down and just take that time to meditate, take that Naam Simran and take it home. Because we talk about self-defense, and one of the biggest defenses we have, not just in this dunya, beyond this dunya, is Naam Simran, is Guru Sahib. After we do the case and Bal, we'll get on to, and we talk about self-defense, but the biggest defense we have is like the Shastra will protect you on this dharti. The Shabad will protect you beyond this earth. Will always protect you, will always be with you. Every time you've japt Waheguru, every time you simmer, that's the true defense in the dunya. That is everything, you know?
Yeah, because that inner battle, that inner strength, like now the Dagestanis, they're doing so well on a world level because they have training and dharam.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question about how do you see that with Sikhi as well in the future?
So we when we can combine our dharam, when we can bring it into our lifestyle of training, there'll be no one in this dunya that can defeat the Khalsa when we have that combination perfect. Because as I said earlier, our Soch, our our Atyas, our Gurbani, if we can link it in to our training, then we're a force that cannot be reckoned with. I firmly believe
that's one thing I love about him, that he puts that Soch into the kids. He believes it and he puts it into the kids, and it's vital for all of us. And sometimes just to hear it, some of these things you need to hear over and over, and that's very important.
Obviously, I know you don't like having the bump and you like to stay humble.
Oh no, he loves it.
But can you tell us about achievements in terms of what, just for the Sangatam, so they know
if you want to.
You know.
Yeah, no, it's it's nothing major. I mean, so I fought at lightweight, 66 kilos, and I went on to
one of my butt weighs 66 kilos.
I went on to win a British title at 66 kilos.
Wow.
In MMA. Then I
best in Britain at that time, 66 kg.
At that weight, at that time, on that promotion, yeah, that definitely was, yeah. And then I boxed. I had 4 boxing fights, and then now I'm humbly starting my wrestling circuit at the age of 36. So we had one sort of amateur interclub thing.
So then, you know, when you do wrestling, what's your best move? Like off the turnbuckle, elbow.
Yeah. There was one really big wrestler called Mankind, and he used to do this thing called Mr. Sock. So that's the ultimate finisher.
You know,
for me.
wrestling back in the day was so sick. Those days, it's gone whack now. It's terrible now.
No, it's the Punjabis that didn't believe that it was fake. They're like, "Hey, ho hi nahi sakda."
My dad used to always still watch it. Oh, marde nahi, and kursi bhi mari the sar de vich.
Yeah. My Rishtadar, they used to do like similar, you know, Undertaker and Paul Bearer used to come out. They used to Waheguru.
You know, Undertaker used to get up like that.
When Papa Shango used to come out.
You know, Hulk Hogan used to shake his head and go, oh, gussa chad gaya babe. But if anyone still watches wrestling, bro, you need to check yourself. There's some people who watch wrestling.
People that still watch it.
Still stay up for WrestleMania.
No, I started that years ago, 10 years ago, man.
There's some people I'm thinking of, guys, stop it, man, please.
People still go to the live shows, don't they?
Yeah.
They SmackDown or Raw comes here.
I never got to go, man. I wish I went once.
I went twice, actually. I've quite front row seats as well.
Really?
When they came to O2 back in the day, John Cena, they were much bigger in real life, man.
Yeah.
Tank, man. But anyway, bringing it back to this type of wrestling, tell us more. Because you were doing some maths.
Oh, you don't do the other wrestling?
No, not yet.
He does the real wrestling.
I do the low level one, not the real one. So one of the things that I do on my Instagram and social media is like I'm not that keen on it and I'm not that big on it. But I remember we went to Scotland and we were doing Gearsonball there. And there was a lad on his Instagram and I was just talking to him. He must have been about 12 years old. And he said, oh, you know, we want to watch other things training on social media because we're on here anyway.
Yeah.
And then from that day, I just took that forward and I was like, okay, let me show Singh's training.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show.
That's huge. You know what? We have our people out there doing jokes and funny stuff, doing ridiculous stuff, but have our Singhs out there training and stuff like that is very inspirational. Like there's a few guys out there, like if you watch Bubbaloo, there's I Singh Fitness, there's a few different guys out there. There's a few like Bikki Singh from Punjab. It's such an inspiration to many people out there when you see them doing pull-ups and lifting all the weights. Feel like, well, one day, man.
Yeah, because we need that. You know, we've got so many comedians, and I'm not criticizing them. I'm not criticizing them, but what I'm saying is, if a young Gearstari Sikh comes on to sing or sing and he comes on to social media, age 12 or 13, Instagram, TikTok, and all this, and they're flicking through and they're looking, okay, what am I most relatable to? Who looks like me? And they're like, oh, this thing, and this thing, and all three of them are comedians.
Yeah.
Then that's what sticks with them. Yeah, and you know, there's nothing wrong with comedy, but we need it in proportion to everything else. We need poets on there, we need wrestlers on there, we need boxers on there, gear studies. Have comedy, that's fine. But if everyone wants to be a comedian on social media, all of the things, then it's going to be a problem. And then it's also, how far do you go for likes? So some of the Singhs and who are on these comedians, you know, they have probably slightly gone over that kind of borderline.
Yeah. Oh, some of them will cross the line. The line's right back there.
Yeah,
there's people on like that have made a fake gutti and make fun of it joke. There was a skit you call it, of someone made in the Darbar Sahib about an Anand Karaj and about a wedding and how they put fake daris on, about the raggis are singing and laughing and they're all interested in the money. And then they've done the skit where they've made a fake Maharaj Swaroop and they're fighting over the Jor Sahib right there. What for? You're doing a mockery of our dharam. Anandakar is just a sacred ceremony. You're doing a mockery of that. You're doing a mockery of the Kirtan. You're doing a mockery of the Dari. A mockery of Guru Sahib just to get some likes. Oh, this is what it is. And I understand there are some issues and poke fun at that. Yes, but to make a mockery of it, to make it even bigger than it is for jokes, it's not what we're about. And that's the thing with social media. People go very negative. There's a lot of negative, the sad people who just like always, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, and always hating, always leaving nasty comments. That has to be inside you first to do that. And what we want to promote, push to the kids is that positivity. People training hard, people sharing gyan. Like, you go on basic Sikh example, you will find no negativity because it's all about positivity. It's all about pyar. It's all about sharing. You go on other people's, it's like you go on the Vidyallas, it's all about the kids strengthening themselves, putting positive things out to help you. There's enough negativity in the world, enough negativity, but it's time to push some positivity. And I know there's problems out there, but there's a positive answer to all these problems, and that's what we need to push and focus on.
Definitely, positive solutions is always the way forward. And it's just, like a lot of the gear sambal is giving confidence to that young child, because we can see it now. You get young Kestari kids and they don't even look up. They're so struggling with their confidence, and then when they see these videos online of people taking the mick out the gutti, the jura, the patka, and all these sort of things, it doesn't do anything to help their confidence. If anything, it disturbs their confidence. So that's why I thought, I want to put out some just Singh's training. So from my classes that I'm involved with, from some of my mentors, Ranjit, for these other guys, from the Vidyala, the Shastra Vidya stuff, I just want to show Singh's training. So young people who are on that platform anyway, they can see that, and they've got something towards aspire to. And then now I see other kids on there showing their videos, their trainings, and all these sort of things. And one of the things that I've done recently this year is I keep a tally of my minutes I've been wrestling. So I'm on 1,305. So that's just of this year. And
1,305 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 1 minute calculator. 1,305.
Yeah.
Divided by 60?
21 hours.
So
over 21 hours of, and that's what is that all your training together?
Is that
so
drilling, or is that
that's just pure wrestling class. So I go
21
gym,
hours of just wrestling.
Yeah, I'll go gym, I box, I'll do all these other things, but that's not including that. That's just pure on the mats. And the reason why that is because, you can't be overly romantic about training.
Yeah.
It all comes down to discipline and minutes. And, Maharaj gave us Maryada a very, very long time ago, a daily routine.
Yeah.
And this is where motivation sometimes becomes irrelevant as an athlete and as a Gursikh. Your motivation for Nitnem is sometimes irrelevant because it's discipline. You have to do it regardless to an extent. And it's the same with training. Some days I've been working late, kids have been busy, and I've been busy with them and family life and stuff like this, and I'm not in the mood, I haven't got the energy, and sometimes I haven't even got the time, but I just make it a discipline where I have to go.
What if you don't want to go?
It's regardless. It's regardless. I very, very rarely miss, my set classes.
What if you're tired?
It's discipline.
What if your friends are going out?
It's discipline.
Exactly. It's just that you go.
Just
it doesn't matter.
It's just
and
discipline.
I think someone said to me, "What do you do when you don't feel like doing your nitnem?"
You do a nitnem.
Yeah, exactly. What if you're tired?
Go do a nitnem.
What if you're sick?
Nitnem.
What if your cousins come in?
Nitnem.
What if Beast Games Freeze coming out?
Beast Game Free, then nitnem.
It's something you do. You don't do it.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, and it's just that. So that it's just to show that. Basically, and then hopefully I'll be competing soon. Then people can see
where are you competing.
So we got an inter club here in Coventry on the weekend, and then towards like April and
you're
the rest.
You're going to take Sukhdeep Singh on.
No, I don't want to get. I'm not at that level yet. Maybe if I triple them minutes.
We'll live stream it on Boss TV. Pay-per-view.
If I triple them minutes, then maybe I'm ready. For the head and arm choke defense or something like that. But so it's just to show that it's not just romance where
but the thing is, you can't head and arm choke you. करके सर ता तो गुरु नु देता
सही गल so it's just to show that basically
so attack on a Sikh is an attack on the guru ख्याल रखना
सुन लो सुखदीप सिंह
I was going to watch, not to fight. I was going to watch you. I was going to watch you instead.
But it's that, and his parents as well. So now we're on the subject, is some of these kids that are like, not some, all of these kids that are below 16 or let's say 14, right? It's not on them to get to training. It's on their parents to take them training. Yeah. And if the parents are like, oh, I'm tired, you've just got to sit there and watch your child. You don't have to join in. You just got to take them there. Just take them there. And if the parents are inconsistent, sometimes it's just not fair on the children, because you know that child can progress. You don't know what he could become. Yeah, you just have to take him there. And again, it's on coaches as well. So one of my, Arun Singh, one of the Singhs that come to our club, he got me this book. It's called Extreme Ownership.
Yeah.
And in it says that if a child is there every week, whether they want to be there or not, it's on you to progress them. You don't have bad students, you have bad teachers. And I believe that. If a child's there, whether they're there to learn or not, or whether they're interested or not, whether they practice at home or not, it doesn't matter. The progression is on the teacher. So as a coach, I feel that onus I have in some sort of way, whether the percentage is small or large, I have to progress this child. The onus is on me. So even as a parent, for your child to be good or not is not even on you. All you have to do is just take them there. Just take them to class. That's all you have to do. And obviously pay for class, okay? But investment in children is is the biggest investment. And so that's all you have to do. So parents, we need to be consistent as well. Not just in your own training, but above all in your kids' training, you have to be consistent.
How do you, as a coach then, keep the kids motivated and get them progressing?
So again, I look at it at 2-3 different ways. One is I look at what my coach does. So Ranjit Randhawa, I look at what he does to motivate me. And then I'll try and implement that. Two,
what does he do?
So he is the most non-negotiable banda you'll ever meet in your life. Okay, like he has a set class, set drills, set rounds. The building could be falling apart. We are sticking to that. We do 5 rounds of hard sparring at the end of every class. Monday could be dying, the roof could be falling down, anything could be happening. He is non-negotiable on so many things.
How long is each round?
Each round is a 2-minute round. 2-minute full wrestle, 5 rounds. And the drilling is hard, the warm-up is so immense. And there's no watering down. Oh, there's only 3 of you today. No worries, let's do this. No, standards are high. Standards stay high. Nothing gets watered down. And then looking at some of the other things I do, I'm involved in the coaching, and one of the Coventry City coaches, he works with us, Adam, and he always aimed the class at the top tier of the students. It's up to the bottom tier to catch up. Don't water the class down too much, so it's easy for everyone. Aim it at the top, and everyone needs to try and catch up. So even though the top percent might be 20% or better than the 80%, aim it high. Aim your lessons high.
Well, with that, what about there's some kids like me that uन्होंने पिशार है जना?
With time, with the right training partners, with consistency, it's only a matter of time before you catch up. Yeah, if you're there and you're there regular, okay, and you've got good training partners. Sometimes it happens, I don't know if you guys ever have it, the coach will show the technique, he'll show it again, he'll say any questions, I'll say no, then I'll say to my training partner, What we're doing again.
Every time I do, I don't know. I thought I'd start daydreaming, and then I'm always looking at what are they doing over there. Every time,
literally. And then if you got a good training partner, no worries. This is what you do. You just do it like this. You just do it like that. You get a good training partner, and then sometimes you get really good kids, man. So we underestimate how Balamans and Pyare some of these kids are. They'll show the other kids, you do it like this, you do it like this, you do it like this.
Like some classes might be a struggle. Like sometimes when you do your Nityanam, sometimes you're in and nan, then you're singing in Jal and everything. And sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's a struggle, but still you've done it and it's in you. And that's a moral win. It's just a moral win. And it just builds that confidence. It builds that snowball effect.
And I can see that myself with my club, for example, one of the coaches, Indy Singh, what I found is that when I go there, there's such a it's just such a great whole atmosphere there that when you go in there, you feel welcomed. Like I've never seen a coach where I've walked in, they've come up to me and said like Fateh or said hello to me. Not to say they should do that, but they just go out of their way to make you feel welcome. And because I've been doing jiu-jitsu now for 2 years, been training here for 1 year, and but they want you to do better, like because everyone there is way better than me, but they still care about you, even to the point where like now I've started going to the MMA classes. It's only been 2 weeks, so it's still beginners, but it's like the fact that they saying to you, come and do this class now. So I feel like that's something that's worked for me with a great teacher, that you can tell that they actually care about your progress.
And with that, we want that in Sikhi as well.
Yeah.
Where in the class, there's everyone wants you to be better. We should have that in Sikhi where we want everyone to be better. We want our kids to come up with more gyan, more nitane, more simran than us. We want each other's gatha to develop. We want each other's seva to develop. We want to push, bring on our other people as well. And going back to, and I say often about Jagraj Singh, that we've had gatha vajiks in the past. They sit on stage, they take the limelight. Jagraj Singh put his hand out and grabbed everyone else and goes, come on, we can all do this. And that's the beautiful thing with Sikhi, with martial arts, with life. There's an abundance of everything. There's enough to go around. If you're doing a class, good, we can do another 5 classes in Coventry. It doesn't matter. You're doing a podcast, doesn't matter. We could do another 6 podcasts. There's enough to go around. The more, the merrier. And it just pushes and it elevates each other. That competition does.
We spoke about this last week. The video should come out once this video's come out, like 2 weeks beforehand. The podcast we did live last week, G&G with Gurdwara Gurdwara Singh Ji, and that was one thing we found within Sikh communities where for some reason we don't make our people feel involved sometimes, and that's why we have some issues of like, you know, conversion out, because sometimes there's cliques, there's groups, and what you're saying is the complete opposite. We should be bringing everybody in, making everybody feel that love for Sikhi, right? So then that way they feel welcomed by the brothers that we have here.
And again, just on that, because you've mentioned it there, is Jagraj Singh on, you know, one of the things that you guys have been covering and it's come to the limelight is conversions and grooming and these sort of things. And if we go back to what Jagraj Singh did, where he went to Speaker's Corner and open challenge to anyone, because he knows, and people really underestimate the hostility at Speaker's Corner. You know, from your TV screens, you can't fathom the atmosphere there.
I was there. I was the cameraman.
So you know.
What was it like?
It was the first 2 times was okay because it was new, right? Nobody expected it. Only by the end of like the first day, you know, they start latching on. And the second time, but the third time when it started really getting on, because we used to advertise on social media that basis of Sikhi going to Speaker's Corner, we'll tell the Sangat to come and do Parchar. But obviously the Muslim are watching. So then they would turn up, and before Jagraj, because he didn't go there to speak to the Muslims. He went there to speak to everybody. And some of the great conversations he had to start with atheists and Gore as well, like Christians. But then it got to a point where he was going there and he couldn't do what he wanted to do because they started bombarding him. One person will come, another person will come. Then you saw in the last one, there was like 4 vs 1, where 4 of them came, and Muhammad Hijab and the other guys, what their names are, and they would surround him. So it got to a stage where it was like he went there naturally just to do Parchar, and it was all right at the start, but then it got very, you can see it's very toxic. The amount of stuff that people come out with there, it's disgusting, like the levels they'll go to.
But for them, they're doing what they believe is true to their dharam. They in their minds, they think what they're doing is right. So take it for them. For us, we do what we is right, and what's right for us to spread that pyar. And I think, you know what, we don't need to get involved in any debates with anything. Just spread that pyar of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And when a debate comes up, don't back down. Just take it. But for first thing, like just spread pyar. Number one thing we can do in this dunya is spread pyar and just spread the basics of Sikhi. Spread simple things.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
Definitely.
Kirpa. Let's bring it to the case symbol if you guys are happy to move to that now.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of that's a great from again background in martial arts, yourself keeping it gupt as well, lethal killer undercover, right? So I know
Killer at the buffet.
if I ever need security, I know I'm going to call you guys up in a security firm as well. But how did this? Because you've spoken about case symbol in the past with you, the first podcast we did, but obviously, Paisa, you're very heavily involved in case symbol as well.
He is the brains, the body, and everything behind.
Then what are you then?
I'm just I carry his bag.
It's the opposite. We went to one case of ball, and they go up on the stage. Said, Paisa, Pai Ma Singh, tusi benti ke, come get your syrup and everything like that. And then he's gone up, and then there's a little bit of talking. They go, Hanji, now one of the friend jada bag for us, tusi bhi aa jao. And I was like, all right, yeah.
But when they come together, they know that Jara champion.
And then the other thing is he doesn't, like you said, how long you know each other, over 20 years, and then they're like randomly someone will be like, oh, by Inderjeet Singh, by Inderpreet Singh or whatever, most random names to see how and I'll be like, okay, is that me?
Another thing is that's a true story that I always called you Indy Singh. I didn't know your full name.
Yeah.
And then we went to one program somewhere. It was at Khalsa camp, and big up to the organisers there. They called us, and then they said, they said to me, Nalda Singh da na kiya, and I go Indy Singh. They go, nahi pura na laida. I was like, oh, theek hai, Inderjeet Singh. You used to knowing Inderjeets. I don't know Inderpal. And then they said Inderjeet Singh, and he said, yo, did you tell him my name's Inderjeet Singh? I was like, isn't it?
Because even when I started, I forgot your name. I was like, I just called you Indy
No, it
Singh.
happens. It's like I put a little video of this boy in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So every day he used to chill with us. That Singh
Yeah.
did, yeah. And he was like, "Oh, Paji, you know what? You're such an inspiration." I was like, "No, there's so many big inspirations." But every day he was saying it. And then the last day, I was going to record a little bit of an interview, not interview, but just a testimonial, right? And he goes, "Oh, I've loved it. Kesambar, Shastra Vidya workshop, Kesambar with Sipai Man Singh, Shastra Vidya with Pajitender Singh." And he goes, "And wrestling." What was your name again?
Oh, man.
Sukhpa ji, me and you are like brothers. I want you to come next year with Jetipa ji and
Indy Paji.
Indy ji.
Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa. Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. It was pretty. I looked at his display picture yesterday. He's got a picture of me up there. He's still can't remember what-
Oh, look, you made an impact.
Yeah,
man.
he's a really cute boy. He was 14 years old. He was 6'1".
Bloody hell.
He was 100 kg.
Yo.
And he goes,
He was
I come from a family of wrestlers.
Yeah.
He goes, my dad was a wrestler, my mum was a kabaddi player, and he goes, by lineage, he was massive, but the most friendliest
He's a
child
friendly
ever.
giant.
Yeah.
But you could tell he had a beast in him. If he
Yeah, definitely.
switched, he could have done damage, man.
He had some good self-defense techniques.
He did.
But so going back to the Kesambal, the origins, there was, I think, ultimately it came from a place of duck, a place of hurt. You know, you get sent these videos of, this thing getting beaten up at school, Gathka coming off, or case coming out, or a girl getting swung around by a goth, and
You've already seen there's loads of videos in the last 8 years, even longer. Say a lot of these videos of different kids getting bullied and stuff like that. And it affects you, man.
Yeah, it does, and it really hurt. And the thing is we always ask, we ask ourselves, okay, what can we do about this? You see these things, you think, okay, what can you do? And we've been involved with different organizations over the years, and we've done seva with a lot of good people, and they were more probably solutions. We wanted to do something a bit more preventative. And then
education is better than cure.
Always. And we've got like a group of all the national martial arts clubs, whatever it is, and we had a meeting that day, and then we discussed it there, and then afterwards we went back and we were just what we discussed that day was, show these videos at your martial arts clubs, your boxing or your wrestling or your jiu-jitsu clubs, and discuss it with the kids. And then we thought, okay, we went back and we thought, okay, there was myself, Boy Man Singh and Jitinder Singh. And it was FA Cup final day, and I was like trying to watch the football, and he was doing what he always does. Let's talk about Sikhi turns off. So
what was Jay doing?
Jay was asleep for the whole duration of this.
The whole of it was
as soon as we got there, he fell asleep.
Today.
So as soon as we got there, he fell asleep until the minute we woke up, and then he goes, yeah, I agree. He didn't hear nothing of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, he goes, I'm on it.
But that's one beautiful thing about it. If you could say anything, it's like, I'm on it.
Really I love that thing.
Let's do it.
And so what we said, when we go, what can we do? And he said, let's go out and let's talk to people about these things that are happening. Let's show these videos. Let's talk about some of the reasons why they happen. What can we do? Let's talk about why it happens. What can we do to stop it happening? What can we do whilst it's happening? And what can we do after it's happened? So, we can't just say to a young kid who's going through any sort of trouble in their life, go in his hang, chardi kala, and crack on. There has to be a process.
Yeah.
There has to be a process, small achievable steps to there's a singer, Gurjit Singh, who always told me the small achievable steps to improve. And so we talked about this, and then Boy Saab, he said the name K. Sambal, and to be honest, I wasn't really feeling it at the start. K. Sambal.
You weren't feeling it?
No, I wasn't feeling it, no.
Why?
Because I just thought, it doesn't sound like that exciting. Oh, K. Sambal coming to an area near you. It didn't really catch on. But then...
What were you thinking? Like,
I was
Indy Singh's martial arts mayhem.
But yeah, I didn't want to say, because he always fights with me. You see, so
No,
I didn't
no.
want, you do. We were on the way back on a flight, and I just wanted to eat my crisps. The guy wouldn't even let me eat my crisps. He's the Hana Khana. Just
No,
wait till
it wasn't on a flight.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't on a
Yes,
flight.
it was.
No,
we hadn't eaten since we
what
left.
it was. Go on, tell your story.
We hadn't eaten since we
left.
left, right? We were in Nipok, and we were running around doing this and that, yeah. And then I bought WH Smith, I bought a packet of crisps, yeah. My bag took and he's looking at me. What are you going to do with that? I go, obviously, I'm going to eat it. Because I'm going to eat it. Why do you have to eat it now? Why can't you just wait till we sat down on the flight? Because we queue's big here. And he's just, and then he didn't even
No,
let me
what
like,
happened was he put it, some of it's true. He did pull out some massive bag of crisps in it, yeah. And I stopped and go, why are you eating it now? Just wait. You've got to pull out your passport still. You got to get this checked in. You got to do all these different things. You're going to be eating crisp, holding that under your armpit, doing this. You're going to on the way there. He left his passport at the desk. I grabbed it for him. And once
he was in charge of the passports.
Once we go into Fingy, Canada, and on the plane, he goes, yo, look, I got these sweets. He opened the sweets, they're everywhere. So I just didn't want anything like that to happen at the airport. I go, Sambal ke rakh. When we sit down on the Jahaj, then open it, Ramnad, relax, hoke shak. And that would be more Ananda bless.
No, let me tell you what happened with the passport. So we gave Marsing the passports, we go, you show the passports at the desk. Yeah. So we show the passports. Then he does like what my mum does. Where's your passport? Wi-Fi wasn't here. But you just asked for the passport.
Why would one person look after everyone else's passport?
No, it was while we were checking in. It was while we were checking in. And then he's like, Wi-Fi wasn't here. What my mum used to do when I was about 7. Yeah, then I lost my headphone. So when you go to security, you put it in.
Yeah.
And we must have spent a good 20 minutes, right?
You spent
They looked everywhere for my headphone. And then the guy said, have you checked your pockets? I goes, of course I checked my pockets. Then it was in my pocket all along. So then from there he was vexed, right? It started from there, yeah? Then he just kept looking at me. He wouldn't say anything. He kept looking at me. And then...
I think you bought yourself.
So he was vexed all the way, right?
Yeah.
And then we got there. And we're outside the airport. And we have this thing, yeah, right? He has this thing, not me, where we get somewhere and we think they're going to be like loads of Sangat. They're going to give us a heart and there's going to be like, like a Nagara going on. Yeah. And every time we go anywhere, no one's there. We ring the people. They're like, give us half an hour. We'll be there, right? So then we're like, oh, right, okay. Yeah. So then we just go out. So then...
we were going to Malaysia recently to do a case Sambal seminar.
Yeah, so he always has this thing, right? He'll look you dead in the face. He'll be like, he gives us the do's and don'ts, right? He'll be like, no, Mr. Bean Kamba, we're here. He goes, Tamra Utna. Yeah. He goes, seva karni hai. Yeah, he goes, no going back to your room. I'm tired. Yeah, lying down, this and that. Yeah,
You've gone for some seva.
And he goes, you got to get stuck in. Yeah, make sure you're organised. Right, get your book out. Where's your lesson plans? You start going through my lesson plans like this, right? And so we got there, and we've got there, and then we've gone outside, and then they've said, oh, give us 45 minutes. So then I'm going back into. We're outside the airport. I'm going back into the airport to get a signal, and so he. When we
Why
first,
did you need a signal?
When we first come out,
Check his Instagram.
Yeah, when we first come out, he's given us his bag, right? All the stuff's together, and he's given us his main bag, and he's like, right, guys, look after this. I'm gonna go walk down and see if I can see the thing. And so he's walked down. He's come back. He goes, he's not here. I goes, oh, okay, I'm going in now to the airport. So I've gone into the airport. Right, I'm on the phone. He's done a shara from where we were all sitting, where all the stuff is saying, the car's here now, come out. So I've gone, okay, I've come out.
Yeah.
So he's now with all the stuff. They've walked over to the car with all the stuff. So I've walked over and I've sat in the car. And then we've got to where the camp is.
Yeah.
And he's unloading. So remember, this whole duration he's still vexed with me. And then we've got there and he's looked around and he's gone. We've got all the touch out. He's gone, Where's my bag? And I've gone, I don't know. Where's your bag? He goes, I told you that I'm taking my bag off. I went to look for that thing. I goes, yeah, but that was half an hour before. And you went back to the stuff and I went inside. And he goes, where's my bag? So he's left his bag. And he goes, this is your fault. And I said, how is it my fault? He goes, he Mr. Bean come to this Mr. Bean stuff. And then they come, the organisers come to the door. Oh, paisa thodi katha hai 15 minute touch. And then he goes, my katha's in the bag. And he's going mad at me.
My laptop was in the bag the day after.
Yeah, and then they're saying, right, you got to come now. And then I go, don't worry, I'll go get it. So we went back to the airport. It was 2 hours. 2 hours back to the airport.
No, rewind. Wow. What happened was the bag. I was going in to phone the Singh because I had the Singh's number. Who's going to pick us up? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I took my bag off and said, "Do you look after the bag?" Is that correct?
Yeah.
When you look after someone's stuff, you look after it. All good. When the guy came and finally called everyone over, I go, guys, let's grab the stuff and put it in the car. And then we grabbed the stuff. Everything moved over to where the car was together.
You and Jackie did.
But everything was at that place. We start putting it in, and these like go to me, I'll sit in the front, pack the rest of the stuff. I put 2 touch in. I thought the Singhs are strong, they can do the rest. I got tired doing the bro, they just left it at the side. They looked at it and just got in the car.
So then I went back to the airport. Shout out to them 2 Singhs that took us back.
Fair
right?
play, yeah. Respect. And you know what? Respect to you. You made a galti, and you made up for it. And that's kids. When you make a galti in life, you make up for it. You do something to make up, and you did.
2 hours there, hour running around the airport.
Yeah.
For some reason in Malaysia, they have a police station on each floor, and there's 5 floors there. So we had to go to each floor to the police station, and it was on like the last floor. And we got the bag, and then we've come back. And then I thought, you know what, he's probably gonna jump people. Maybe he's got hard for me waiting, something, Or these, like, they had lunch while we were gone. I thought maybe lunch longer, and come back with his bag. He's like, just took the bag off me. And then we even worse, they bags in their beds. While I wasn't there, they bags in their own beds, and I had to go get the stuff and still skank me when I got back. So that was So back to Kesambal.
And then, you know what? With every story, there's one side, the other side, and there's the truth in it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So these are some of the things. So if you're ever traveling with him, Sukhdeep Singh, if you're ever going on an international tour, you'll know what I mean when you come back. You'll be like, we'll do another podcast to say just that I'm right. That's what we'll do.
No crisps when you're walking.
Oh yeah, no crisps.
But did you do that? Just all your sweets were everywhere on the floor, and then they were melted.
That did happen.
And they melted everywhere.
Yeah, and then the whole duration there. So he really didn't sleep during the whole of the tour. And then there was like...
I just slept on time.
Yeah, no, he hardly slept. So we'd have to be like up for half 3 Gurdwara Sahib, and it would be like 1:30, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I might just... and like, because there's like few of us sings and he's like, nahi vichara kar diya, and all these sort of things, right? I used to sleep maybe 1.5 hours. Like, you just come here for that? these people call us and you just want to sleep all the time. And I was like, just 1 hour, no, 90 minutes, please. And then the whole way back, right? I thought he's going to talk. The only time, honestly, yeah, you'll find this hard to believe. The only time we get to have proper conversation is on flights because he's so busy, I'm so busy.
Right.
Flights is the only time where we actually sit down, and we're having conversations, discussing things, planning things. Is on flights.
But you watch films, isn't it?
Yeah, I do. To be fair, right? And so it's one of the only times. And but so. Yeah, let's go back to Gear Sambal.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, we started talking about Gear Sambal, and he had it when he came. He had it in his mind. He wants to tell the statue story. So he took it to the statue story without talking about actual what we're here to talk about.
But I think just to jump in, I think it's amazing to see the amount of work you put into the sevas. All the jokes aside, like what you're saying about the timetable, and again, when you're there doing that seva and putting in the hours, definitely to the Sangat. If you want Gear Sambal to come to your city, your country. Please reach out because you can tell these guys take the seva very seriously, but they can have fun as well, which is great.
And that's what I'd say. Like one thing about Indy, he's quite organised. Like even today, he's come with his diary. Is this your diary?
Yeah, man.
What colour is this diary? And he's got his nice pen with a little turtle on it. Martial arts karna and he's got a turtle. No, but he's always well organised when he does it. When he's running a wrestling seminar, it's always like 6 minutes this, 5.5 minutes this, then a 40-second water break, then this. So it's always good to see someone who's so time efficient and ready.
Very good.
But saying that, whenever we do travel, he travels with these suitcases. Yeah, what colour are they again?
They're pink, right? But
they're pink with what?
Red spots.
Red dots, like a ladybug.
Yeah.
They're like that. And everywhere we go, when we're in Canada, people are like looking, when they had to look at the tattoo, like, and he's like, yeah.
No, then when we got there, four jogging, then I'll come out with them suitcases. And they're like, all right.
And it's still, bro, I'll sort you some out.
Thank you.
Donate,
yeah, please.
Deji's to,
I think
Deji's or just black ink.
they're past their time now.
No, but go on. What was here?
So that day, yeah, we had the conference of all the clubs, and then we said show it in your clubs, and then we've gone back to have a sit down because there's a lot of things that gave us a strong mentality growing up. And we wanted to just, infuse that mentality into this next generation, because from when we were kids, we're late 30s now, to now, our community, one thing that is definitely certain, we've had a huge influx of wealth into our community.
Yeah.
So maybe once when we were growing up, we were working class families, and now we're 2-3 generations in. Our granddads and stuff were here. We're now middle class or even more. So but with comfort sometimes breeds softness sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with comfort. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But as a qawm, as a community, we always need to state the art, but our gurus told us this. Yeah, no matter what assets we have in life. So just looking at the younger generation and what they're going through, and because if you got 2 kids at a school and one kid's got a very rough, hostile upbringing, and one kid's got a very wealthy, soft upbringing, that one child will struggle with the other child in a hostile environment. Okay, and so when we were talking about these things, we initially just did one in Birmingham. It was hometown, and we showed the videos.
One minute. When your hand goes a bit. No, sorry about that. What that day after the conference, we came back and you were trying to watch the football with some whack teams or whatever. One of the things we said, someone needs to go out there and take this before someone gets bullied. It was common sense. Yeah, we teach our children to cross the road before they're involved in an accident. Common sense. We teach our children self-defense, self-awareness, posturing, body language, all these things before they're in an altercation or a situation. Yeah. And we're like, yes, someone needs to go and do this. Someone needs to teach that. Who's that someone? In any circumstances, who's that someone? that someone is always you, that someone is always us. And that's one of the sayings that we have in life, not just Ke Sambal. In life is, what is it?
If you do nothing.
Yeah, you are nothing. If you do nothing, you are nothing. And often there's people, oh my God, the Gurdwara, the toilets are so dirty, or oh, there's so much litter around my area. Well, if you go to the Gurdwara and the toilets are dirty, someone must clean them. Who's that someone? You, it's us. We can do that. We can make that difference. If we go around saying our community, there's not enough English prachar, who can do that? We can. If there's anything, we are the answer to everything. We're empowered. Each and every one of us has that power to make that difference. And we thought, you know what, let's do it. Who are we to do it? Nobody. Who are we not to do it also? Who are we not to say the name of God and spread the word of Guru Nanak Dev Ji? Who we have to. If we're blessed with such a blessing, it's very important we tell someone else. If Guru Sahib has blessed you with health, wealth, enough for you to train as you have, bro, you've got to pass it on. You've got to share it. We must share it. Because another saying we have is each one.
Teach one.
Yeah. If one of you learns something, teach it to one other person. Very important. If we have anything, if I know how to make prasad, teach someone else. If I know how to drive, teach someone. If I know how to cook langar, if I know self-defense, teach someone. If you know Gatha, teach someone. If you know Gurbani Akkar, teach someone. We know the fall of teaching a Gurbani Akkar to someone else is everything. So why not teach someone else? Why am I going to huddle all this gyan like I'm the big man? Well, no, there's none of us. We own nothing in this dunya. We own nothing. Especially if Sikhi, we don't own no seva. We don't own like, we're the podcast guys or I'm the Sakhi guy. We have nothing. These kapre we don't even own. The as at the moment, when we die, the gone, everything is chun. It means nothing. So all this gyan we have, so-called gyan we have, share it, pass it on. And then Indy was like, yeah, safe, I'm on it. And one thing I know about him is when he gets onto an idea, shadadani. He's got that wrestling mentality. When he grabs a leg, he does not let go. And I thought, you know what? If he starts this, if I start it, I'll get tired. I'll give up. Like I haven't managed to stick to a diet in my life. But he's stuck to all these things. And I knew if he starts this, he won't stop. And he'll pull me along also. And I'll be just involved in this seva because he's pushing it. And then we sat together. We said, yeah, we're going to do something called Ke Sambal. Apparently he didn't like the name. He wanted to call it Indy's Magnificent Martial Arts Explorium or whatever. But he called it Ke Sambal because the aim was... It was mostly Ke-Stari kids that were being bullied. Yeah. We thought, how are we going to Sambal that? And so we created a seminar called Ke Sambal. And what the seminar involves is, it's not a lot of martial arts, to be honest. It's just a lot of history, like history of why we keep gays, why gays are important, and how to speak up about your gays, how to in school, because we've all been there whenever you got long hair, how to say, yes, I do have long hair. My guru gave us a hukum that we keep it. And Ke Sambal, even though it's called Ke Sambal, is not just for those with long gays, it's for everyone. And ultimately, it's not just Ke Sambal, it's everything Sambal. We're just looking after ourselves, looking after our sabhyachar, our lives. And so everyone is welcome, because often people say, oh, my kid hasn't got gays, can they come? Yeah, come. We're obviously talking about Sikhi, we're talking about the importance of gays and stuff. And many people come, many people that we're close to are still on that journey. And we're not going to say, oh my God, no, bro, come, sister, come, let's learn about Sikhi. So it's all about learning about Sikhi and why Guru Sahib had said have gays, importance of gays, and then talking and explaining to people, yeah, we don't cut our gays, but this is a turban we wear at the start. Go on.
And one of the questions you get asked a lot is, how we want to come to Ke Sambal. My child is this age, whatever age. How old do they have to be to attend?
All right, so we take them from 5 years old. But one thing with Ke Sambal, we always say bring your parents as well. We want the parents to see exactly what we're teaching. Parents are very important, and they should come together, and there should be a bonding moment between them and their kids. And we've seen it that the kids bonding with their children as they've come to a Ke Sambal working together, because we split them up and they do their things in their different areas. So the primary bit of the Ke Sambal is looking at gays, looking at how to address someone who's taking the mick or poking fun, to say, no, that's not respectful, how to speak, and just things like body language. You know, you spoke earlier about body language, and most people, saying ain't got no body language, little bibi, little core, look at her, she's weak, she's a victim. People are no, we can't just blame all the time and teach you the hatred. We've got to teach you the bihar and say, you know what, brother, like if there's a youngster that say, you know what, keep your head up, shoulders back, you're a warrior, tell him a saki, give him that bump, give him that self-belief. Because the thing is, ultimately, as someone in the American military, a friend told me this, they goes, there's no such thing as a tough person. There's the trained and there's the untrained. You can train someone to be tough. You can give them that hard training. You can create a warrior. And Guru Gobind Singh did exactly that. He put talwara in the hands of peasants. People who would never dreamed of fighting, Guru Gobind Singh made them into the mightiest of warriors. And that was a different level. And what we're doing is just giving people a bit of confidence, reminding them who their guru is, and giving them that self-belief. You can do it. Giving them that positive self-talk, positive affirmations, all these things to build them up. And then we do show them the videos. We do show them the history of the importance of gas, importance of Punjabi Sabhyachar in terms of the Punjabi language. Like Gyani Pinder Pal Singh always says,
Ura Tajura.
These two things you need in your house. If you've got Ura, the Punjabi Akkar, you can have Gurmukhi, you can have Katha, you can have Shabad, you can have Paat. And if you've got Jura, you've got the Surub, Bani, Bana, Pank, Pashano, Singh, Ka, Panchijano, the inside and the outside work both together. You know, some people say, Naima Andarlaya and Baro, they leave everything. Now, both together, walk the path together is the ultimate path. And we're trying to walk. It's not like we're there. We're trying to walk it. And all it is not we're someone, we're teaching, we're sharing our experience, what we do. And then so we build their confidence.
One of the other things that Boy Saab talks about a lot is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries as male and female.
Yeah, so that, and then we get into self-defense. And one of the things that we talk about in self-defense is the verbal self-defense, spotting it, and self-defense on all different sides. And one of the things that we say to the kids, and a rule that we have, like a lot of the things are with parents are in there. We talk about posturing. We talk about spotting a potential bully or danger with your eyes, like using your voice and all that. And one of the things before we do that even is when we're talking about boundaries, clear boundaries are set. And India always says no one should touch you for any reason between armpit and knee. No one needs to touch this area, boy or girl. No one needs to touch that, unless obviously there's a medical reason or something, and you've given consent for cut or this or that. Apart from that, no one should touch it. And one thing we say to the kids, and it's very simple but often mislooked, is we say to the kids, "You're not allowed to keep secrets. No secrets allowed."
Why?
Because who tells you to keep secrets? When someone does something bad, they usually tell you to keep secret. Like my mates, they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this. Keep it a secret."
Yeah.
Or someone who's an abuser or a thug or a predator, they'll say, "You know what? Here's so much money. Don't tell anyone where you got it. I'll look after. I'll give you more." All these things to keep things secret. When people tell you keep things secret, it's a bit of a question mark. Why? Or I'm going to tell you something, but you've got to keep it secret. They never tell you anything good. When has anyone ever told you anything good and said keep it secret? When they've never told you any like kathas and sakhi and said to keep it secret, but it's always nindya, it's always jugali, or it's always something like not cool, something that you need to worry about. So when someone says to a youngster, keep this secret, you know what, don't tell anyone, hey, have this, come and lie down with me, or do all these type of things, they always say keep it secret. So what we say to the kids is no secrets. You tell everything. You tell your parents, your guardians, whoever looks after you, you tell them everything. When? Straight away. It doesn't matter where or what's going on. Middle of a wedding, and someone's tried something or told you this, go and tell your parents straight away. And the parents, you've got to listen and deal with it straight away. And it could happen anywhere. It could happen in a school. It could be a policeman. It could happen at a religious institute, a camp, a residential trip from school, in a family house, in a restaurant's house, in a restaurant toilet, wherever anything dodgy happens, you shout out about it now straight away. And the thing is, we're not someone who could deal with any of that, but we give the kids those tools so they can make an issue of it there and then, and it can be dealt with by the appropriate authorities or by who needs to at that situation. Other things we teach the kids, like if someone touches you, why, going back to why you said 5 years old, because first we're thinking 12, 13 upwards, they've got a bit about them, they can understand what we're saying. But then we reduced it to 5 because we got a newspaper cutting, and I'll send it to you, about a kid 5 years old has sacred gears cut at a school, and it happened in East London in around 2022, I believe. You remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, whoa, if a 5-year-old can have his gears cut, a 5-year-old needs to be taught how to prevent that, how to just shout, say, no, get back, create a distance. And the other kid cutting it, I don't feel the 5-year-olds aren't that malicious. He might have been playing or something, or whatever he was doing. But the other kids need to be taught to stand back. No, you can't touch this and that, and then to make an issue of something, because often children don't know how to raise something appropriately, and they just start crying or something. But teach them. Like, obviously, we can't stop the crying. It's emotion. It's the way, but to teach them as well to get back, stay back, and all that. And we're learning this whole Gay Sambal thing. We don't own it, but also we're learning, and it's evolving as we go along. It started with Gay Sambal. Now we call it Everything Sambal, because it's about preserving Punjabi Gurmukhi in our houses. It's about telling Sakya. It's about that safe distancing, a safe protocol with everyone you see. And we get to learn and see a lot.
There's many now kind of levels to it. So there's the basic level we're working up, and one of the things we got to do at Singh's Camp a couple of years ago was one module of it, which was basically looking after the Gurukars.
Like Gurdwara Sambal.
Nice.
Like we have Ghar Sambal, Parvar Sambal. Like, okay, you can fight on your own. What are you going to do when your little kids with you? How to Sambal then? Yeah. How to Sambal the Gurukar when there's a potential active threat in the Gurukar. Like, it's very unfortunate and it's really sad that a few years ago there was an attack on a mosque, Christchurch Mosque in New Zealand. And we all watched that. Do you remember it? Yeah, we all saw it and the video of the actual attack come out. And I was traumatized. Like, our Muslim Veed have gone into the mosque. They're praying. They're trying to adhere to their dharam, going on a Friday to the mosque, praying, and they went in and they were shot. No one not in a church, not in a synagogue, not in a mosque, not anywhere, not in a restaurant, not anywhere should someone be shot and killed like that for no reason due to hatred. But some person full of hatred went in and started shooting them up. And we thought that could happen in a Gurukar tomorrow. What would we do? We've not even thought of searched about something like this. We've just, oh my God, that's sad, and gone to the next. But for many days, we're traumatized. I remember speaking about it to you extensively. Like, something needs to be done. Like, we need to think about Gurdwara safety. We need to think when we go Gurdwara as sevadars who are working. We need to look about where's the first aid boxes, and if an active threat like that does come in, how they addressed. So what we did at Singh's camp, we had someone come in as part of the training. Someone come in with a weapon and start pretending to shoot at the Sangat. And how would the Sangat react? And the first time we done it, what did they do?
Everyone screamed and ran away.
Like the saying, screaming, someone trying to get out the tent and all that. And when we broke it down and explained, like, this is what happened there, this is what should be done, how can we... And obviously there's no one set way of dealing with it, but there's a certain way that you could deal with an active threat. And then we looked at the training, we looked at how to tackle it, we looked at running towards the danger and stuff like that. Because there was an attempted a shooting at a church in America, and it got dealt with very quickly because the person approached and apprehended the person. There's an attempted shooting in a Colorado school where American football player kid, he charged the shooter down, rugby tackled him, or American football tackled him, got him down. He sacrificed his life in the process, but he saved 300, 400 other kids that were at that school. Wow. And then when we watched that attack in Christchurch, there was one brother who was trying to escape, and he got to near the active threat, and but he got shot at that level. If there were 2 or 3 behind him, they would have managed to apprehend him. 3 or 4 might have died. More would have been saved. And there's so many. And also, I'll send them to you so you can put them up, like, where there's evidence of, you know what, there's a doctor who done it, there's other people who done it. So we ran it at Singh's Camp. And when that time comes, we don't know how people react or how I'll react. But you have to create that sort where we have to do something, and we have to be that barrier between the rest of everyone else getting damaged and us putting our lives on the
because there's sort of instances that are always happening. So, you know, Gravesend was a big one recently, and then because we are a open door community with the Gurukar, with the Langar, it can bring a certain element of risk.
And it did happen in Wisconsin, America. Yeah. A number of years ago, a Wisconsin American active shooter entered the Gurdwara and he shot and killed members of the Sangat. And the law enforcement were okay at that time. They got there in good time and they dealt with the threat. But still, some of the members died. But when we ran it a second and third time in Singh's camp, where the shooters coming in, then obviously with a mock gun and a pretend gun, this everything's been done for the safety of the public, for the safety of the Sangat, for the safety of the school. It's applicable to all. It's not some crazy fanatical training or anything like that. It's for the bala of mankind. The next couple of times, the Singhs that were there in the camp, they got up and they dealt with the threat to an extent that we had to shout and call them up and say, Baskaro, Baskaro, Baskaro.
He's one of our sevadars.
Yeah, he's one of our seva. So, because they just tackled him down, pulled his bag up, they had him and they go down. I was like, bro, chill, man. It's just because they got so caught up with, no, we are the protectors. And there's some of those things that are braver and stronger than us that if something happened, they would step forward and do that. And we need to create those good Samaritans across the whole world in terms of where people will step up and help others, and there are people like that. Like there's a like Sikhana Qawmiyat to help others. There's that story of 2 girls were drowning in a creek in California. It was a Sardar Singh that jumped in and saved them, and he ended up sacrificing his own life to save 2 others. Like obviously only jump in and do certain things when you can, but there are people out there who are those heroes walking in plain clothing that will do and go above and beyond to save others.
I remember that story that came in the news where I think somebody else was drowning and a Guru Sikh uses the star to save them, but the news article said man has given up his religion to save someone. I was like, no, this is a part of his dharam. So that just came on mind yesterday actually, when you interesting.
And that's such a beautiful thing that he did. He saved someone's life, and in fact he honored his dastar even more.
Amazing, yeah.
He put more shan on his dastar that you know what, when times come, we helped, and that's what Sikh is about. And look, when the whole world went to pot. When England, here where we live, people who were so caught up in we're a country of like rules and regulations, and we're very civilized. When lockdown happened, there were people in the lines, the aisles of Sainsbury's Saver Centre fighting over toilet paper.
Rolls,
Fighting over toilet paper. Bro, you're fighting another human being over toilet paper, Sachi? Like, come on, man. As human race, we're better than this. Not that anyone's any special, but what would the Guru Nanak's teachings teach? And those who followed Guru Sahib's teachings, what were they doing? They were putting langar out. They were delivering langar everywhere. They were delivering langar to the people in hospitals. Nurses, doctors were eating langar on the regular.
Even in India with the oxygen
langar. People never had oxygen. Guru Ke Sikh were providing oxygen at the Gurdwara. People were closing the door to family members. You might be sick. You've got corona. The Guru Sahib's door was open and said, come, we'll give you oxygen. And that's this Siddhant of Sikhi is always to help others. Deg fateh. Sometimes you help them with the cauldron, sometimes you help them with the sword, but always the fateh is Guru Sahib's, always the victory is Guru Sahib's. And what's Guru Sahib's victory about? It's about pyar. It's about naam. It's these things that, you know what, because we've been so blessed to have Sikhi, we just want to pass that love of Sikhi on. Nothing that we do is our own. Any gyan that we give, anything we talk, who owns anything? No, we don't own nothing. Everything is Guru Sahib's, and we just pass it on to the next custodians who will pass it on to someone else. And we just wanted to spread that pyar.
No, thank you. And just bringing it back to Kesambal as well. One question for you guys is this just, it sounds like a lot of this is your own kind of research, but have you did mention some other professionals as well. So these things that you're doing, that you talk about, the first form of defense could just be verbal speaking. Is that something that you've picked up yourself, or have you actually spoken to other professionals when it comes to this stuff?
So this is kind of like Indy Singh's got a lot of training. I've like hanged around with people that have had training and stuff, and we just pick up on what works. So what we've tried to do is cut all the fat off everything and just leave the haddi, just leave the meat of what is needed in terms of just the pure essence. And so the pure essence of self-defense is, first of all, spotting a defense, avoiding it in all way possible, the art of fighting without fighting, what Bruce Lee said. Other things that Guru Sahib has taught us, like the jakara, the gaj ke bolna, those words have so much power. Just to say someone, stop, get back, these type of things. We always teach you with a fence, stop, get back. And Indy's trained extensively with Jeff Thompson, legend in the martial arts scene. Anyone who knows him knows. And one of his most powerful things that he teaches was the fence.
Yeah, he's wrote a lot of books, and he's done a couple of films, but the thing that he was most famous for was his fence. So that was basically upon initial confrontation, your immediate reaction. His immediate reaction was the fence, and then how to work off that fence, and effectively protecting your personal space.
Yeah.
So we learned that he was from Coventry, so we learned that a lot of him. Baisab but trained with him as well, and
you know, one of the most beautiful things that when we trained with him, one of the most beautiful things that he said is he's a very spiritual guy, and one of the most beautiful things he said to me is he goes, when you don't feel like, you know, we spoke about it earlier, when you don't feel like doing your japji, he said japji, he goes, what do you do? He goes, I was like, you have to do it. And he goes, yes, you do it anyway. And then when you do your japji in the morning, what's inside you? He goes, that japji is inside you. And when that japji is inside you and you've read it and you've focused, then what comes out of you during the day? That japji. All of your acts are the acts of the Guru. Like you're out there being loving because of that japji is inside you. And he goes, very important. In every morning, he goes, in your religion, it says you have to get up in the morning and do these things. Why? Because that comes out of you. That love of japji, that love of Guru Nanak will come out of you. And I was like, bro, like that's one of the most inspiring things anyone's ever told me about Nithanem, and they're not even Sikh. But then they are Sikh because they have that love of Guru Nanak Dev Ji within them as well.
Yeah, even now, I met up with him just even last week, and I've seen him and we've got talking, and then was telling him about, you know, how far and wide Maharaj is taking Kesambal. Then they said seva is such a big thing. Just purely through seva you can meet Nanak.
Wow.
Just purely through seva, Sachi Dalo seva, is you can meet Nanak through that. And then he said at the moment, I'm doing a Sage Part. He said, I'm doing a Sage Part, I'm 2/3 of the way through, and he said, my soul is scanning it like a barcode. That's how much he's connecting with me. And he, again, like I say, he's very philosophical, he's very spiritual, and I spoke to him a long time ago about martial arts, and said I'm reading a book on Bruce Lee, on some of his philosophies, and he said you don't need Bruce Lee, you only need Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That's in your lifetime, that's the only thing you need to read. Don't worry about all this other stuff.
That's crazy.
And that's coming from a non-Sikh. So I think spiritually and physically with what his techniques are and what his teachings. And there's other people that are doing it now, Urban Combat and John Anderson, all these other people that are doing it. But it's the same premise of that. It's pressure tested. So you can learn techniques, but have you tested that technique under immense pressure?
And that's one thing we say. When shit hits the fan, you get an adrenaline rush, you get scared, your voice goes, your legs shake, you feel like you need to urinate, defecate, all these things, everything's going. And when you're at that stage 10, like fight or flight reaction, then does what you trained work? Then that emotional state separates martial arts and crafts from the real stuff that actually works. And that's the space we're working in when kids are being bullied and they're scared and they think they're going to be, can they push and can they execute? Then that's what we're working for, because we don't teach loads and loads of techniques. We teach a set, very simple few to begin with, but it's what works under the highest degree of pressure, when you're scared, when you're crying and all these things. And we're talking at camp recently, and we're saying this is the time where your bravery comes out. Because, what's the difference between a hero and a coward? There is no difference. It's what one does that the other doesn't do. It's the action that makes the hero. And everyone feels scared, and bravery is when you're scared to do it. Bravery is when you don't want to do it, you're scared, you wish for the world to open up and swallow you inside, but still you stand up and you speak the truth, or you do what you need to do. That's bravery. And what we want to do as well, what we do through Case and Bilal, is we put pressure on the children in front of the parents. We make the parents put that pressure on them. We put the pressure on the parents, and we put the pressure on each other, because we don't want our kids to go through the tough times that maybe we went through. We don't want them to get tested how, say, maybe we got tested or other people got tested. We want to make them strong, and you only get strong through testing. So we give them that testing artificially in the comfort of a class.
So they have that confidence, because what we want, the primary objective is avoid confrontation. That's always the primary objective with us wherever we go, avoid confrontation. But what we teach the children is be peaceful. Don't be harmless. Because as Sikhs, if we're harmless, of source the Galia, being peaceful means when je Lord kade pay, isi karan joge hai, but hopefully Lord kade pay nahi. That's the primary objective. But if we're harmless, and you know, our gurus never taught us turning of the cheek and all these other things. So that's why we teach the children, be peaceful, avoid confrontation, how to mitigate confrontation, how to deal with these things, and this is our primary objectives. Again, what Vijay is saying is dealing with things. So when we say you need to be able to do it here in a Gurukar environment, this is the drills that we're doing, because if you can't do it here in a real life scenario with all these other factors as mentioned going on, then you'll find it really hard to execute this. So when you do these things, when you do train, you need to do it 100%, because then when it comes to the real life and your adrenaline, people watching, because one of the other things is when we seen or were bullied or did any bullying, either of those three, 20, 30 years ago when we were at school, it happened on Monday, it was forgotten by Tuesday. But now the phones are out. So the biggest thing we see, somebody send us a video, there's a confrontation, group of guys, they're bullying one kid, and there's 20, 30 kids there with a phone there. So if you're getting bullied in year 7, there's a video of you getting slapped in the face, it's hard to shake that video until year 11, because through that whole duration, other kids, oh, you're that kid in that video. And it's hard for that kid to shake that.
Creates trauma. And the thing is, bullying was an issue 20, 30, 40 years ago. It was issued 20 years ago, issued 10 years ago, issued today. Bullying's not going to go away. Each generation will fight against bullying, because bullying is inside of people and it needs to be addressed. And I've been bullied. I know how it feels to be bullied. And what's even more pathetic and sad is I've also bullied others. Being bullied, I felt how it was. And I thought, from that place of weakness, from being pathetic, weak and sad, I thought I've got to take it on someone else. I've got to make someone else feel small. I bullied someone else. So I know bullies, they're weak on the inside. They come from a place, it's not strength, it's not power or anything like that. It's pathetic. And I feel sorry for them that they're so weak, stupid and dumb that they think they're strong by taking it out on someone weaker. No, it's they need help and support as well. Obviously, we're on the victim side, but the bullies are suffering as well. They need help. They don't know why they're doing it. And especially at a young age, some of our kids do bully, and we catch them and say, guys, that's not the way. The guide is to be respectful, to be open, to be honest. And that's why we have like a guide for kids. And that's why we're going to come on to this book in a moment, because we want to create a guide for kids of how to behave. When I was a kid, I was cheeky. I was cheeky, disrespectful. Why? Because I thought this earned me respect and people would pay attention. You know, sometimes in camps people are awkward, walking around. Why are they doing that? Because they want to earn respect, or they want to show something.
Trying to prove something.
Yeah, and I always tell kids, I've done that. The way you do it, the way you get respect, the way you get attention is through love and respect. When a kid says, yes, Hanji, thank you for the gatha, thank you for the talk, you're like, wow, and then they get the respect.
Right.
And that's what we want to create in our community. Our kids are confident, self-aware, respectful, loving, hardworking, trying hard. All the things that we want to be, all the things that we wish we had, give to the kids at a younger age. Hannah?
I think this is definitely why the case bar needs to continue happening. And if we can, we've already talked about doing a vlog or doing it media-wise, but in the meantime, something like this, which you've created, the Pajangi book, or it's called the Khalsa Spirit, it says on the front. Tell us more about this, because this is accessible now to anybody.
Yeah, so again, all these things, they're not ours, but we're just helping to bring things to the forefront. So this is a guide called the Pajangi Khalsa Spirit, a practical guide for Sikh kids or any kids out there. Just a simple set of a few rules, a few tips and things to help them in their journey through life. Life's tough for kids. It's not that easy. So this is a few rules to help them through life. And so what we've done is we made a set of 10 rules for children. And we'll go through them briefly, and we'll break down what this book is. It's going to be released soon, and you know what? We want all kids to have it, look at it. It's And what it is just to give kids a bit of guidance and to help parents guide their children on the right path, whatever the right path might be for them. And so we have a Pachangi rules. And say the book opens up with who are the Pachangis, what's a Pachangi. The Pachangi is a coiled snake, a warrior sap. And it was a name that we were called to the Norjwan Khalsa, the young Khalsa, the Sahibzad, they were referred to as Pachangis. The Khalsa is referred to as a Pachangi, is a coiled snake. Snake don't get in anyone's business, but when you try and step on it, it will fight back. And that's what it's about recently. And basically the rules that we have for kids, one of the rules is I wake up early in the morning and meditate on God's names, Vaheguru. Why? Because Guru Sahib tells us to do this. And now we put it in a cool, laid out. This doesn't replace the Maryada or anything. It's a stepping stone for children to get there. And one of the things that our kids learn is, you know what? Pachangis are early risers. They wake up at Amrit Vela before the sun even peaks over the horizon while everyone else is still tucked in bed. The Pachangis are up, they're not lazy. This time's called Amrit Vela. The best thing we can do, Naam Simran, Nitnem, preserve our Amrit Vela. So we talk about Amrit Vela for the kids, why it's so important, what they do at Amrit Vela, you know, how to do Simran. And you know what we tell them, you know, this is reading directly from the book, waking up isn't easy. But being a Pachangi means taking on challenges, facing difficulties head on, building strong routine and doing what's right, even when it's tough. So giving these kids some guidance to do the tough things, to wake up early. You wake up early, you win the day. You sleep in like I do, you lose half the day. You wake up groggy, grumpy. And I look at you guys, you've already done your nitnem, you've already had ishnan, you've already trained. And I'm waking up, oh man, I've done nothing. And you wake up on a losing streak. So catch those W's early on. And then it's got Sakyain about the importance of Gurbani. And then rule number 2 is I have full faith in my beloved, perfect Guru, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So it's again kids, the youngsters learning about having faith, the importance of Guru Granth Sahib Ji in their lives. And then talking about learning the Gurbani Akkar the Maharni. As Sikhs, learners and students of the Guru, Pachangis strive to learn and grow closer to the Guru. They make the effort to learn these Gurbani Akkar. So it's very important. We, like you said, Ura Tajura, we learn these Akkar to come closer to Guru Sahib. If we know these Akkar, we can have intercourse and conversation with the Gurbani. And that's the groundbreaking, philosophical, revolutionary thing about Gurbani. It's the Guru is now the Shabad. The Shabad can travel everywhere. It's inside us. We keep that Shabad on us. We can communicate anytime, everywhere, no matter what. That Shabad is with us. And that's the beautiful thing. These kids learn these Shabads. They learn Gurbani. They haven't got to ask anyone else what the meaning is. They haven't got to ask anyone else to do ardas for them. The connection is direct. We don't need to rely on anyone. We talk. I know you had the thing about spiritual grooming recently.
Yeah.
There's spiritual groomers within our own community sometimes. There's fake Baba who set themselves up and tell you this is what Sikhi is, this is what this is. If you've got these Gurbani Akkar, you connect direct with the course, with the source, yeah. And then you can use the Mahapurush out there as a guide. Because you can't get led astray if you're directed to Gurbani, and then the Mahapurush can help you fine tune and pull you closer to the Guru even more. And so then there's a few did you knows talking about Gurmukhi, more Sakya coming in. Then rule 3, I look after my long case and never cut it. Then the history of case, what happened, what case is about, how we look after our case, and explain to the Pachangis when we comb our case and the case fall on the floor, we don't just get it and put it in the bin. How to do sanskar of that case. Because sometimes the simple things we're not told.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. So breaking it down and telling people in a simple way. And then the Sakya by Taru sings in here. And then rule number 4, one that by Indy Singh helped with, was I train hard to know how to fight so I can stand up to bullies. And then, reading directly now, this rule is about learning to defend yourself and others if someone tries to hurt you, not to hurt people, not to be a big man or be tough or be a rare tear thing. It's important to know how to stand up for yourself and your friends when faced with bullying. Pachangis train every day to build strength, confidence, and the ability to protect the weak and vulnerable. That's what we're about, helping others, being confident. And again, back to this guide and reading it, standing up to bullies means not allowing them to harm anyone. It takes courage to speak up when you see someone being mistreated, and by doing so you show bullies their behavior is not acceptable. Protecting others is about looking out for friends and classmates, keeping them safe and helping them when they need it most. By training hard, you not only protect yourself, but make the world safer for everyone out there. Like there's an African proverb, a well-armed society is a polite society. And in the same way, when everyone's trained, when you and all your friends are trained, you're not going to start drama over nothing to prove that they're tough. You know how tough you are or how tough you're not, so you stay humble. And a lot of this text isn't us. It's just common sense from the world of around us, inspirations drawn from other books, drawn from martial arts, drawn from Sikhi, and packaged together just to give our kids a footstep to higher moral grounding and stepping forward. So then there's a Saki, against all odds. You want to know that Saki? Get the book and read it. We're not going to tell you everything. And then there's a breakdown, how to exercise, how to train. So there's 2 different Bhajangi workouts. So here now, let's break down and look at Bhajangi workout number 2. So 1 minute of jogging on the spot, followed by 5 Dandabetka, which are basically push-ups, followed by 10 squats. So 1 minute of jogging, 5 push-ups, 10 squats. If you do 5 sets of this, so one set that is 1 set. If you do 5 sets, so then you'll do 25 press-ups and 50 squats every day. That's a kid's exercise done. If you do that every single day for a week, over a week, quick maths, you do 175 press-ups and 350 squats in a week. You do that for a month. Our kids do that for a month, and they've done 700 press-ups in a month, 1,400 squats in a month. In a year, they've done 8,400 press-ups and 16,800 squats. Imagine the kid that's doing that. They're going to be a different mentality.
And that's such a simple start.
Yeah, very simple, easy workout. In fact, we need to get on it, man. I need to do it, and I'm not be doing it with the kids. I need this.
Yeah.
I'm giving what the kids. We are helping the kids, but also helping ourselves as well. We all need this. Often we point the finger. This. Right? Let's do something to help. All right. So then, rule number 5: I respect my parents and elders. So teaching how to be respect, how to say please and thank you. And then also we've added on this, what's the seva that I've added is, Bhajangis don't limit their respect to parents and or elders alone. They respect people of all backgrounds, regardless of colour, religion, jathabandi, caste, gender, location and age. They believe in helping anyone who needs help. Bhajangis are strong, caring leaders, because we want everyone to be leaders who strive to do the right thing. Whether we do the right thing or not, it's different, but we always try and do the right thing. I never do the right thing, but my mind's always, I should do the right thing. So I had to make it like that. Making the world a kinder place for everyone. And this takes out tribalism and jathabandiyism. Because as being in Sikh circles, what do you see? The toxicity of jathabandiya. Like, I'm this jathabandi, we're better than you and there. And that does exist. We're stupid if we say it doesn't. But we don't want to pass that bamari down to the kids. We saw some kids who are growing up in it, and they walk around with this arrogance that they're better than others. And I'm thinking, no, please. We're all the same. Give that pyar to everyone. Let's all work out there and squash this. Hopefully, the bamaria that our generation had, we don't pass down to the youth. The irka that we have dies with us. The stupidity that we have dies with us, and the youth don't inherit it. We want to push them to be better. And then I'm talking about the importance of seva. Like we talk about seva's there, and not all seva can be seen with the eye, but some seva you just got to be opportunistic. You see an old bibi take a thal, get up, help her, just help each other. And then the other one, I study and work hard, trying to do the best I can, and then teaching them that, you know what, well, again, Bhajangis know it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. We're not perfect. It's all right to make mistakes as long as we learn from them. Doing the best is one way to practice gratitude. And then going on, Bhajangis are go-getters, not daydreamers. They don't waste their time on social media, watching TV or playing video games. Instead, they spend their time learning about Sikhi, doing Santhya, practicing Kirtan, reading and training. What are we doing, man? We're spending so much time on our phones. We need to get off these, and we need to encourage the kids to get off their phones and get off social media, because now they lack the ability to have a conversation. Like you go to dinner and everyone's on their phones.
Yeah.
You go to the Gurdwara, you go to family program, the kids are on their phones. We've got to get the kids off their phones, talking to each other, playing. You know what? Go out there, play outside, get bored. Don't just sit there on your phone, because then your imagination goes, your attention goes, all these things go. Use your phone for your benefit, not for the phone's benefit and the company's benefit. And that's what we're pushing on kids. All right, watch TV's fine. We all watch TV. Some watch TV more than others.
On the airplane as well.
Yeah, bro. But you know what? Pushing them into the right direction. And there's another Sakhi that comes up. Rule number 7. I'm honest, polite, and humble. But Jungis are always polite, well-mannered. They say please and thank you sincerely, speak respectfully for everyone. Doing so, set a positive example for friends, peers, and younger family members. But Jungis also refuse to lie. Again, hitting on that no secrets rule. We tell the truth. Another Sakhi, so loads of Sakhi in here. And then it helps us, rule 8, or guideline 8, I listen to the Sakya of our gurus and shaheeds, which inspire me and give me courage. Why have we included this in? Because why are we where we are? Because we listen to the Sakya of our Guru Sahibs. Our parents told us Sakya. Guru Sahib blessed us. We're here because of those Sakya, because of what we learned. So again, teaching kids Sakya, teach them to read their Sakya. And that's why this little thin guide, very thin guide, you can read it in less than an hour. It has Sakya for our kids. They might take their time and break down and read that. 9, I'm loyal to my faith, my Guru, my Khalsa brothers and sisters. So always staying loyal to our Guru, no matter what other offers, what things are offered out there, what other people come with golds and gifts and all that. Nah, we're loyal to the house of Guru Nanak. We'll just do Ardas, Maharaj, keep us loyal. And then also, like, staying loyal to your faith, you stay away from certain things. And yeah, knowing this, going from the guide, a Pajangi does not keep the company of those who wish to harm them, those who try to guide them falsely, or those who try to cause them to stray from the path, or try to tempt them with vices such as alcohol or drugs. Bajangis do not give in to peer pressure. They are not weak or insecure. They have a code of moral and ethics and discipline, and they don't go against this for anyone. Bajangis are not cowards or bullies. They do not gossip about people behind their back or spread false rumors. They do not pick on the weak or make fun of people, and nor do they tolerate this for those around us. Bajangis help build others up, not put them down. And what happens so much in society, and grown people like us with grown Darya and who lived life and graduated, they still spread mad amounts of negativity. You know what? They still try and pull others down to make themselves feel better. People like me, so insecure, we pull others down to make ourselves bigger. I blow out your candle, doesn't mean mine's going to shine brighter. Bro, let your candle shine, let my candle, let's light some more candles. Let's all shine together. Let's everyone do something amazing. That's what we would need to push out. And the thing is, the seva who did this, their aim was like, we can all do things together, man. And someone else can write a Pajangi book, and someone else can, it's just a way to create and build. The last one, bro, you can read this because I don't live by this.
Neither do I, but this is very good to follow. I eat healthy food with lots of fruits and vegetables to stay fit and healthy. And I just think in today's society and today's day and age, with processed foods, with sugars, unfortunately we have so many young kids with ADHD and all these other things. And I think, heavy sugar intake from a young age, it causes problems. So this is just saying that mind, body, soul, all of it comes together. It's a full package. And that's why these things, and then it talks about the things that are important to us and our history. We've got adrak in there, we've got garlic, we've got ginger, we've got all these things that are used in our food and drink. And it talks about shardai, what shardai is, how it's made, and what its benefits are. Then it goes on to just general lifestyle and more sakya here.
And then there's one about the Guru's Langar. And then at the end is a Pajangi Jeevani tracker. So it's 40 days. We set out 40 days. So there's a number of 40-day trackers. So you can do it once, do it twice, do it 3 times, and build up on it. So Amrit Vela wakes up at what time you want to put in, 5, 4, 3, 6, whatever. Ishnan, do Ishnan. Did I do my nithanim yet? Did I do my junky workout? Did I do my chores at home? Did I help out? My homework and my study, did I do that? My Santya, my Kirtan, tick it off if you've done it. Your martial arts training, your reading, your Sakya, and being in Chardikala. Sitting, did I have a Chardikala state of mind today? Did anything get to me? Because we can always choose. And I say this with caution, we can choose our mood. We can you know what? I missed the bus. Indy was late again today for this podcast. Do I get mad at him or do I say, nah, tu aa gaya, bro? You know, I respect you here. Do I get mad? Too late, aa gaya. You left my bag at the airport. Do I get mad? I go, bro, you left my bag. Try and get it. If not, don't worry. It's all in Rab's hands. Let's go, man. We're here anyway.
Did he say that to you, Danny?
Was that positive? Yeah. I did say to you, when you brought the bag back, that's it, on Mr. Bean again. And it just gives kids something to read, because often people say to us, oh, give us something to read, tell us something to read, we need something for our kids. So the Sevadar have made that. It'll be available quite soon, quite very cheap, bro. Everyone's got the paper for something like this, and it's out there. Manage to get, but hopefully it makes a difference. If not, we tried, we tried, and it's all about trying. And the other thing is, many people always ask, like, tell us some books to read. So, Baisab, give us the load. And let's just talk about some of the books we have here.
Well, just first of all, when it comes to this book, hopefully when this podcast is out, this will be available. So just to show you guys, straight to the camera.
And the dedication is to Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, 350 years Shahidi Divas this year, 2025.
So this will be available for you guys in person at all our stores. Hopefully also this will be available online right now when you're watching this. So through our YouTube video should be embedded, that if you just scroll down, go to a Shopify link, and you can get this book. And we also have many other books that are available. And some of the parts in it reference some of these books or the animations that are online. So for example, we've got another book that's come out now on the Shahidi of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, based upon the animation that was created a couple of years ago. And same with Vaisakhi as well, that was created last year, the animation. So these are some of the books that are also available online. Our brothers and sisters from Malaysia, shout out to them. We've got this is the Shastar 101, and then Bhai Man Singh's holding the Shastar 101.
Yeah. So one's about the weapons, one's about Shastar, and one's about the Granths in Sikhi. So it's talking about Guru Granth Sahib. It's breaking that. It's got different Sakhi, and it's got the Sakhi of Bhai Gopala Ji in there, and the importance of Gurbani. If you don't know the Sakhi of Bhai Gopala, Son Sakhi series episode 9 is that Sakhi, so make sure you listen to it, and it's breaking down why we matha take, different satiks, different rags and that in Guru Granth Sahib. And the people who made this is Gurpreet Kaur and Ashwinder Singh Ji and Malwinder Singh from Malaysia. And recently we went on a camp to Malaysia, and for just 2 minutes, that camp was one of the best camps, the best camp I've ever been to in my life. It was just amazing. And some of it was down to the Sevadars who put so much effort in. Just day and night, they put so much effort in. And the Sangat vibe. And the kids over there were just so sat with positive vibes. It was epic.
Amazing. And I think the standards of Sikhi there, you know, we've been very fortunate to go to, you know, Australia, Canada, and a lot of these places. But the standard of Sikhi there, it was mind-blowing in Malaysia. From the youngsters all the way through, what you know, the seva they could do, the level of their quizzes compared to anywhere else in the world that we've been.
One of the things that they've done, and this was very, very inspirational, they created a Sikhi escape rooms.
Yeah.
So they had 5 or 6 different escape rooms where you have to work out the times on the clock, and it links to a Shabad, and then you have to find all these clues to escape. And the way they ran it, and I was like, how the heck did you manage this? And one of the Sevadar, in fact, he read 4 books on escape rooms in the 6 months leading up to the camp, and he planned for months a one afternoon activity. And he just showed the effort that they put in, that PR to do that, to put in one afternoon activity which could flop or he could do amazing, but they put that in because they had that love for the kids, and it smashed it, man.
Harjinder Singh.
Yeah, Harjinder, it was his children that put that in.
Very good.
So they put that in, and just the love and pyar that they had out there. And it's the first camp that I've ever been to that the kids in the evening got so pumped and said, "We want to do Job Sahib." We did a Job Sahib, and they go, "We want to do another one." And they did multiple Job Sahibs in the evening because they're just so pumped, and they carried just a vibe of just pyar. And they were very humble. There wasn't much Dakava there. And these sevadar like Ashwin, Malvinder, Gurpreet, they showed that they're the core of that community, but they're very humble and just they gave like so much love. And by Harjinder Singh, who ran the camp, I hope you don't mind me talking about this. On the last day of camp, his house got robbed. So someone broke into his house and he was at camp and he found out about it and he goes, "But don't worry, I'm going to finish all the seva, then we'll go." And then they went to the house and the camp finished and we spoke between ourselves, we should go pay him a visit, see how he's doing. And it's very sad when someone's house got robbed and trashed. But we went to the house and we spoke amongst ourselves. It was inspiring because we went into the house. Every single room of the house had Guru Sahib's pictures, had Sikhi related books. The whole house was just involved, just
Sikh library. The whole house was.
It just like showed that these guys live it, and it's so much better. And even then, he said, "You know what? It doesn't matter. Like we're still. Today's been amazing because I got Srupa from Akal Takht Sahib, and he just showed so much pyar. And you know what? One thing we've got to travel, and everywhere we've been, we've learned some amazing stuff." Like we went to Canada, we saw the Sikhi Sakya people there, the effort that they put in with the kids to join them with Sakya, the Dalpant BC, the amount of pyar they showed. Cool. They took us off to the mountains. They go, "Singhs, you come. We're going to give you some time away." Went trekking with them, and just the pyar they showed in conversation, the gifts they get. No way, we don't deserve any of that. The pyar they showed, the inspiration. Same with them. What did they do? All they talk about was Sikhi. All they talk about was the sevadars and the dal. All they talked about was Guru Sahib, and it's very inspiration. And sometimes we go to do a job to inspire others, and you come back more invigorated. Went to Italy to do a Holla Mohalla program. One of the things we saw there, we were sitting with the Gurdwara Singhs who run the Gurdwara and do seva. Not run, only Guru Sahib runs the Gurdwara, who do seva in the Gurdwara. And one of the things they did is, when they entered the Gurdwara in the committee, you know how they have the tables and chairs in the committee room that everyone sits around like a boardroom meeting? They chucked it out. They go, "Nah, idda thoda sobda Guru Ghar de thalle betho." Now when they have meetings, everyone sits on the floor and just brings different vibe. And the thing that we went to, as soon as you got there, banging into the seva, day and night we saw the seva. I went to Australia, Perth, where I stayed with Sikh Finity, music producer. And I was just inspired. This guy don't get tired. Like day and night, he's just focusing on what I can do for the Sangat, what I can do for the Sangat, what I can do for the Sangat. And there's people out there who absolutely kill. Like, people ask for advice for what books to read and stuff, and I always say, there's this book as well, like the Singhs by Jeevan Pal Singh, by Resham Singh. You know how much effort they put in teaching so many Santya online, and just seeing someone do something like that, inspirational. So there's this book as well, Guru Nanak Prakash, available and any basics of Sikhi store. And another one that I want to highlight is by Kamalpreet Singh Pardesi. This is a Japji Sahib Tika that is done. Just look at this. Look at it, just full of gyan, years and years of work that this guy does. And he runs a page, Sikhism in Snippets, and if you sign up and become a patron, every month he'll send you a book. So every month he's writing a book. Bro, that's crazy. Every month someone's writing a book. Like, I got some of his books here. One's about Guru Gobind Singh and the Chitrapakyan. One's about the Sakya of Bhai Manj. And I tell everyone, go on Sikhism in Snippets.com. These are the best books that are coming out at the moment. Like this book, wow, it was worth more than all three of us sitting here, man. Like this is something that needs to be promoted and pushed out. Get him on a podcast as well. That guy, he's a workhorse. He just kills it with the seva. He does watch wrestling, which is kind of weird. Talking about Chandrapakyan, it's just coming to my mind that there's that saying, is it Supreet Singh?
By Supreet Singh,
he does a breakdown every week, a podcast about the Charitras, about Guru Gobind Singh. And there's things out there smashing up podcasts. There's the Boss TV podcast. You heard about that guy?
Yeah.
The Sikh Joe Rogan, they say.
If only you could find like him.
Like there's the Suraj podcast, which I know a few people. I sent it out to loads of people, and they're listening to it and building that pyar and connection with the Guru Har Gobind Sahib. So there's Jwala Singh doing that. And then I always tell people, there's all these thingies out there, different podcasts and everything, but link back to the source, which is the original kathas. And some people ask, like, who's your favorite kathakar? So katha is, in the Gurdwara. Who's your favorite?
Probably Sikh history series.
That's not katha, man, bro.
No, probably more listen to Gani Pindar Singh the most.
Yeah, he's killing it as well. He's dropping some gems as well. Baba is your favorite?
I don't really have a favorite.
What?
No, I don't have a favorite.
I got 5 that these are my 5 go-to in it. One's Gani Inderjeet Singh Rakpa. And they came to England recently. I spent time with them in Punjab. I think you met him as well. Different level.
Yeah.
Like when you look at them, it doesn't even look like they're on earth. It looks like their soul's gone with Parameshwar and just a body's here. But for in-depth katha, they're the one. Like obviously listen to all the other podcasts and all that, but slowly people at home try and build and link with this good katha and Gurmukhi. My other go-to, my old gangster, is Gani Sher Singh. Just a killer. He's a historical katha, especially Panta Prakash, changed lives. I sent it to people. Once I was walking, someone stopped me randomly on the road and said, Singh, you got me on this katha. You spoke about Panta Prakash. Listen. And he pulled out his ear thing. I was like, no thanks. What are you listening to? And he listened to Gani Sher Singh's Panta Prakash. Anyone who listens to it, you know what? They're on it for Sikhi. And there's so much katha out there. And I spent a lot of time with them. Like I said, from day to night, they're all about just Sikhi. Other people I'd say is like Mahant Trlochan Singh, Baba Trlochan Singh, the Baba Bakale head Granthi, very old but came to the country this year. Different level. Some people say that Gani Sher Singh is like the sea of Gyan. If that's the case, then Mahantaji is the
universe.
It's the universe. Different level. Like from, some people do katha. This guy is katha. From morning till night, spend time with it. All they talk about is Guru Sahib. And that love is infectious. Like, you probably want to give it to someone else. Some people got that amazing... Because people ask, who should I listen to? Like this, like Mahantaji, Baba Trlochan Singh, has sitting for many years in Baba, spent their whole life like selflessly in the Dal Pantha doing seva. And they've gathered they could tell you what Hukamnama came when Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj was born, what was the Hukamnama from which Sarup, when this happened, everything. They could tell you the rasti that they took. They tell you everything about where the first Bhatta came in the Guru Kar, where the Nishan Sahib was first Pargat, all these things. Different. It just shows there's levels, and so we're children, babies in the game. We just learn to walk, and these guys are like the people to look up to. Other one that I love is Gyani Surinder Singh, a young Nihang Singh from Buddha Dal. But when you're close to him, it's a different level of energy, and when they talk about Sikhi, they just different level. Anyone who's ever seen them listen to their katha, they're in. And there's Gyani Gurvinder Singh Nangali, who's I've learnt with when I was a youngster, and he's done when there's Sarablo Granth Sahib Part Bodh Samagam, he led it Chabbe, Baba Nod Singh Shahidi Astan, so his kathas out there. And then there's old Mahapurush katha like Sant Guru Bachan Singh's katha. And the thing is now it's been cleaned over. So now before you listen to it and it's crackling, now it's really clean and it's very easy to the ear. There's so much katha out there. Like you listen to Sanjanel Singh's katha of Jab Sahib is a straight killer as well. Gani Pindar Singh kills it every time. But I tell you, Baba Kalwant Singh, Hajur Sahib Ware, let's talk about them. There's 25 years this year, January just passed, the 25 years of them doing seva in the Ingita Sahib of Sach Khand City Hajur Sahib every single day. They're Guru Gobind Singh's Garve. We all been to Hajur Sahib, best place in the world. Nowhere even comes close. Just the vibes you get there. But when you hear Babaji speak, it rattles you inside, man. It shakes you when they talk about Naam Simran, when they talk about Seva. Just go wherever you are, stop what you're doing in the dunya, type their name onto YouTube and just watch them. Their speech will come up, Seva will come up. Any video that comes up, it's gold mine. And when you see them, there's so much nimrata. So much humility, you can't believe it. And then you think that, Babaji's got a special connection with me. They love me so much. And then you realize that everyone feels like that. And it's a special blessing that some Gursik have. And it's very important. We talk about these Gursik who led the way for us and who currently lead the way. So people aren't attached to like people like us, like we're kind of like morons. They attach to people who really do the seva.
Right.
And it's very important. We attach those who are on that, and it's very important. And then what do? When you go and talk to them, they just say to you, Siddha Guru Gobind Singh Nal Gal Karo, talk to Guruji directly. He goes, I'm just a sevadar. That nimrata is just mind-blowing. And I think it's very important we try and, learn from these individuals and teach our children, learn from these texts, subscribe to Sikhism and snippets, get the Nanak Prakash, defo buy the Khalsa Spirit Guide for your kids, the Vaisakhi book coming up as well, the Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Shahidi, keep signing to Boss TV. So wrapping up, last 5 minutes, you mentioned we started at Smevik, we went to Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland, Glasgow, amazing Sangat there. I think everywhere we go, from Gravesend to Scotland, the Sangat, the Purbans, the people that run the camps, they give us so much love. And if we could just take this one opportunity today to say thank you to all of them.
Right.
Around the whole of the country that Maharaj has sent us, and the amount of love and respect we've got from them. You know what? We thought we were going to give lessons. We learned lessons everywhere we went.
We think we're doing seva. We're not. We're learning. This is our Sikhi journey. We're getting more. And it's a blessing for us to remind us to stay humble as well. But like some things that stood out. When we went to Glasgow, there was that kid who brought all his dads the stara. One kid, after the case, we always tied the stara on all the kids and stuff. And just to teach them how to do the stara, how to do a gutta. One kid went home at lunchtime. He took all his dad's the stara pagga from the cupboard and he brought them in. His dad didn't know. And he brought in some like funky pink one, red, all these ones. And he goes, where are all these? He goes, they're my dad's. No, your dad's going to get mad. He goes, I know. It doesn't matter. Give them to everyone. And his dad was in the committee. And his dad coming afterwards and is looking like, why has everyone got all these around? And his dad had got him from home. And his dad was like, but then he said, my son, he had that faith in my son went home. He had so much pyar for the Sangat. He wanted to give everything we have. And such a beautiful thing. Like when we went Gravesend, one thing that was really good to see was the level of safeguarding they had. Like if the kids came without their parent, they were given a high-vis jacket. So the sevadar knows straight away, that one's without a parent, so we keep them here. That one's got their parent, very good. That other people can implement. Like Bristol Vidyalaya that Sukhjeevan Singh runs, Guru Baba Bidhi Chand Vidyalaya. There, what they do is they hire a sports hall. They hired out a sports hall and they do it every week, putting their own money in so they can take their kids and teach them in a different environment. And I thought, well, people everywhere up and down the country doing things like Sikh Youth UK. How many camps have we done of theirs?
Yeah, loads.
They've done more camps than I can remember.
Yeah, that summer holidays, they did a 6-week camp from the first day of the summer holidays to the last.
And what did we see? The change in the kids in 6 weeks was crazy. We just went to the recent Sikh Retreats family camp, very intimate family camp. Is getting the whole family involved and connected to Sikhi. And a camp where the whole family's going awesome as well. Other things like went to East London, the Ravi Singh and some Dr. Penji, Maaf Karna. But they rent out a hall for their children and they're holding it down there. Like Devanahar camps, like apne local sevadar Manao side, they run it, also smashing it on the weekly, doing the kids camps and Sikh Nojawan camps. Gyani Sukha Singh, OG in the game in England, everyone knows it for the last 25-30 years. Been doing running camps every year. You get the call, are you free at this time? We got the camps going down and he's been putting it in, day out. These are like some people that helped shape our lives. Went to the Khalsa schools, went to the a Khalsa camp, Carver Vidyalaya, you go in, went to Leicester Falcon School, Wolverhampton Sikh School, Seva School, Coventry, all these places, they deserve, like, obviously going into much more detail, but they love they're doing, what they're doing for the kids. Everywhere someone's doing everything. Hats off,
and
man.
It's good to see the Vidyalaya starting up and down the country. We're very fortunate to have one in Coventry run by Tajinder Singh, Manav Jyot Singh, Jatinder Singh.
And Tajinder Singh comes on a lot of Gays Sambals as well. He came out to Coventry,
Canada
as well.
And it's such a big thing. And, also, we've been called out to the little towns and pens. So I'm very fortunate to Sangat of Bhai Anurag Singh Ji. And what they say they're big on is, time. Time is the biggest commodity we have. Okay, it's such a strong currency. And then seva is the best investment you can do. If you're in these towns or cities where you don't have camps, just start a camp there. We went out to Kettering. They did a camp, first ever camp there. We went out to there, and them kids, they didn't have loads of knowledge on Sikhi, but the Ganda Pavia, they started. They started in 2024. They started, and now that will be the first. And wherever you are in the country, if you can just organise a Gurmat camp, Gyani ji that we met in Australia, Gyani Sukhjit Singh, he was saying the camps are where there's so much growth, because you can listen to Gatha and go home, you can listen to a Kirtan and go home. A camp where you're there for a few days, that's where there's so much change and growth.
Lives,
so if you are somewhere and you can do, there's not a camp at your local Guru Card, do one, even if there is in one, like Easter holidays, but there's not one in the summer, tusi karo. Everything we've been talking about, if you can do martial arts, I am bottom of the list of martial arts, but you know what, I'm just happy to give some knowledge to the kids. If you can do podcasts, if you can do books, if you can do anything you can do it, but definitely with the camps, if you can start that would be great.
And don't get mad if certain sevadar can't come sometimes, because sometimes we can't make some places, or other sevadar can't come. Don't rely on anyone else. You could still do everything ourselves. We as a Nojwan, as a Qawm, as Sikh, but we're not Nojwan anymore, bro. As well, that's a bit sad as well. But we can do something.
Well, thank you so much, guys. This has been an amazing podcast. I wish it could go for longer, but I think we've got some other commitments now. But just let the Sangha know that when it comes to getting these books, they're all available now on our Shopify link, so you can get those books. The seva that you guys are doing, we'll put the link in the description. If you want a case and ball to come locally to you guys, if you want to reach out to the sevadars, to the Gurmukhs, then that'll be all in the description as well. Any final message from you guys, but please keep it short. Final message to the Sangat.
No, you go for.
No, I've done my one. That one was my one. The one that I just did before.
What was that? Say again.
Okay, so I'm very fortunate to do Sangat of Bhai Singh Ji, and one of the things they're big on is time, and investing that time. Invest that time in seva. Whatever you can do.
They're saying that they've always given us haunsla. Big up to all the elders that have always given us, from being little kids, those people who give us a pat on the back, and enough respect to Mahapurush, enough respect to the elders who've always given us haunsla. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, and that's it. Whatever you can do at your local Guru Card, if you do nothing, you are nothing. Okay, whatever you can do at your local Guru Card, get involved in the seva, do something for the youth. You think that is costing you time, you're investing your time. That's an investment that Akal Purkh and Tan Sahib Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj will give you back in abundance.
Right. Bhai Sahib, final message?
Raj karega Khalsa, Tan Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.